Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. Now, normally I would have just been, clearly minding my business, just doing my everyday, which is uploading videos and pretty much moving on, right? And getting prepared, I guess, for the next day, taking a break, things of that nature. But things took quite a turn when I decided to upload this video, which is actually still up at this moment in time. Has about a good 49 comments directly under there. And you got a variety of people, right, that decided they wanted to pull directly up to said video. And they wanted to be quite angry, right? They wanted to, in a sense, be in their feelings specifically about that video. Yo, what is up, Outlaw, aka Brandon V World? What is up? What is up? What's up? What is up, Miss Daltrey? What is up? What is up? What is up, Gail? What is up, Miss Griffith? What is up? What is up? What is up? Oddly enough, your last name is the same last name as my math teacher from high school. What is up? What is up? So we're gonna take a listen to what this man had to state, and we're gonna take a look at some of those comments that people had to say as well too. And let me know if y'all agree or disagree, right?
Being at the goddamn corner store, hanging out, I ain't selling no dope, no nothing. Now y'all got all this ruckus going on. Y'all got these folks down here pulling over good, working hard ass people, goddamn. You know what I mean? You in the house where you should have been at first, man. Ain't no young niggas getting locked up right now. Ain't no but older people getting locked up, man. Bring your bitch ass back outside now, hoe ass young nigga. Y'all got these folks up here terrorizing our man right now. And you got your bitch ass in the house. I don't see where all the guns at that y'all be having on y'all at the store and shit, man. You don't see none of that shit. You niggas scared, man. You shake ass niggas, man. You niggas ain't really about that life, man. Stay up in the house when they leave too. Weak ass. For real, you piss me off with that shit, bro. I ain't know you on that side.
I ain't seen a ski mask in 2 weeks.
I ain't seen one in 2 weeks.
Ski mask.
Bro, I ain't seen no ski mask on, bro. I ain't seen nobody. Hey, have y'all seen the ski mask? Have y'all seen them in the store with Dracos and shit? Yeah, they at the house on the game now. Oh, y'all want to go get on the game now, don't it? Shit got real, didn't it? Bitch ass nigga.
Right. So you heard what the man had to say, right? So let me just try to give the Cliff Notes version of the video that I did, my commentary. I pretty much agreed. And I stated the fact that a lot of the dudes that always like to claim that they run the block and all this other type of stuff have some type of ownership in this, that, and the third. When daddy government shows up, when a white man shows up, nowhere to be found. They're secretly hiding. They're somewhere in the back cave. They're in the fortress of solitude, right? They're hitting. They're sitting up there in the Legion of Doom. They're out there in the command center. They ain't nowhere to be seen out there in the streets. Ain't nobody walking around with a shiesty mask on. Ain't nobody walking around with a ski mask on. Ain't nobody walking around with like straight skinny jeans and a shirt where you can clearly see that they got a weapon directly on it. And more than likely, they're not even legally able to have directly on them. And it's the same thing I said back when it was COVID, right? Back during the pandemic, I said the exact same thing. I was like, yo, where all of the hardest dudes at? Where all of the drug dealers at? Where all of the YNs at? Magically, the streets is looking real quiet, real empty. Everybody had a curfew. I'm like, I thought couldn't nobody tell people what to do out here, but I guess the pandemic did. I guess magically people was taking that ultra serious. Wild work directly out here. So I guess it needs to be something so cataclysmic. It has to be something so destructive as outside of everybody's power in order for people to start acting as human beings. Because it was amazing. Like, even during the time, if you think about it, during the pandemic, crime sat up there and dropped. I'm like, huh. I'm like, color me surprised on that. I'm like, what happened to everybody, ripping and running through the streets and doing this and doing everybody in the house now? Everybody masking up because the government told them to do. I thought people wasn't listening to the government. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, it's wild out here. But somebody said false. So So what specifically am I stating that's false though? I'm a little bit. You're not telling me nothing. You're not telling me nothing. Because the main thing is this: if people happen to look around and look at the news, what are one of the main primary groups that you're going to see committing crimes, ripping and running through the streets, going to jail and prison for lengthy sentences for either shooting each other, shooting a bystander, shooting a family member, shooting a girlfriend or a boyfriend, having an argument, shootout, going to a party, shootout, high school graduation, shootout. Shout out to Soldier Boy, a shootout, right? Who are the main individuals directly out there? Let me know. Let me know. Like it's crazy. And the main thing I said up there and said before, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of people that have done things specifically to you that realistically you don't have the energy with. And I'm talking about specifically to the YNs. I mean, so if you fit directly in that category, I don't know what to sit up there and tell you. That's on you. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem because you decided to give yourself that title. And I want to note that I've been around long enough where I done heard the terminology YN before it became popularized amongst this generation. Right. So this is a terminology that was already there. It just was not there like it is now. It just didn't spread like it was now. It was just more so within the community. And that was it. It was there one minute, it was gone the next. But all I'm saying is when people think about YNs, ain't nobody thinking about nothing positive. Let's be real. Let's be honest. When people say YNs, they're not thinking about somebody that's college educated. They're not thinking about somebody that's an entrepreneur. They're not thinking about somebody that's young out there cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the trash off their neighbor's yard, from around their blocks, from around other houses. They're not, when they say YNs, they're not thinking about people that's boarding up abandoned houses and making sure those houses stay abandoned, that nobody's occupying them, right? When people sit up there and think about YNs, they're not thinking about like, okay, yeah, you got a whole bunch of like YNs sitting up there like painting murals directly on the sides of buildings, trying to beautify the block so it doesn't continue to look the way that it's always looked. Right? Like I said, I could keep going directly on that. All I'm sitting up there saying is when people say YNs, there is nothing positive attached to it. There's nothing, zero, nada. The only thing that you got attached to the terminology YNs is demons. That's it. It's demon time. That's the only time people want to get tough. That's the only time people want to get morphs. When it's time to sit up there and have those demons that's internal, you want to give those to everybody else. You want to show people how tough you are. Like I said, show me the positivity about being a YN. I'll wait. Somebody show me what's positive about being a YN. That's all I'm saying, because at the end of the day, when I was sitting up there going through high school and all this other type of, and I'm gonna let me just paraphrase this by saying, as I'm going to speak later on down the road, I'm speaking as a statistic, right? Went to DPS, also went to a few private schools in middle school, right? Went to public high school, went to a public community college, all of that type of stuff. Born and raised in Detroit, took the D dot wherever I needed to go, or I walked, right? Speaking as a statistic, single parent household, no father. So again, I'm laying this groundwork directly down there because in the comments section, right? Let me just go to some of these comments so people can see what I'm talking about, referring to, right? So we got a variety of comments off of that one video because people, tend to get in their feelings. They tend to get a little bit enraged, a little bit angry, right? And you might have to zoom it in for yourself because I got to do the same thing for me. One person said up top, the orange one said, the dark, he said, what are you talking about? Why your ass is sitting there whoring out for views and clicks, talking about the youngins. At least they're out there getting down in the streets while people like you sit there and talk ish. Getting down there. So who is this? This is Dark Side, right? Dark Side. wanted to say that I'm not real enough, right? I, as a black American male, I'm not real enough because I'm not out there in these streets. I'm not really a black man because I'm not out there in these streets. The youngins are the real men directly out here, ripping and running, pillaging, raping, stealing, robbing, and killing, burning down the block. Those are the real men directly out there. So I want people to understand what I'm dealing with here, what I have to sit up there and work with. So when I happen to do videos, when I happen to talk, these are a lot of the people that tend to get in their feelings, get mad, and come through directly out here. So I'm not a real man. I'm not a real black man because I'm up here just talking, right? I'm whoring myself out for views. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm showcasing a lot of the stories that people might not know about. I myself, before I even find out about these stories, I know nothing about these stories. I know nothing about these areas. I know nothing about these people. So just as it is brand new to me, it is brand new to a lot of other folks out there. But I'm wrong. I'm incorrect. I'm not real enough because I'm reporting and I'm talking about this. I should be out there getting my hands dirty, getting black families out there strung out. I should be out there selling pills and selling drugs. I should be out there robbing my neighbors, robbing my families. I should be out there killing my brothers, killing black women, killing black kids out here, because that's what's considered real. And like I said, this is a comment that was left directly under that video. This is the type of nonsense and the foolishness that I be talking about. But like I said, people always want to sit up there and say that I'm the problem, though. I'm the problem, right? No problem. You got it. You're right. To anybody out there that's a YN, that's a youngin', y'all more of them than me. Y'all sitting up there taking thousands of lives, hundreds of thousands of lives. Y'all sitting up there killing your fathers, you're killing your mothers, you're killing your aunts, you're killing your uncles, you're killing your kids, you're killing your unborn kids, you're killing your girlfriends, you're killing your fiancés, you're killing your grandmothers, your grandfathers, you're killing generations. You are way more much of a man than me, because I have no blood on my hands like that. You're right, you got it. Y'all been to way more funerals than I've ever even seen or heard of, even through movies, even through fiction. Like I said, if that's what it takes to be a man, y'all can have it. Y'all can keep that, dog. You got it. My hat's off to you. Like I said, it's crazy. It's diabolical. Next person. We got Chris Black Kingdom said, y'all old bastards literally sitting up hating on young people. You wonder why no young people listen to you clowns. You are effing trash bags. Just old, pathetic pieces of ish. You old bastards can go to hell. I can't stand old Negroes. See, this is the one thing that I love. At the end of the day, you live long enough to die young, or you live long enough to become old. And I'm living long enough to become old. Understand what I'm saying? See, unlike a lot of the people that want to sit up there and leave comments and I want to say all of this negative type of shit directly to me, I'm going to see my 60s. I'm going to see my 70s and my 80s and my 90s. Like I said, I'm not out here drinking and drugging. I'm not out here creating broken homes and households. I'm not out here sitting up there killing up my community, killing up my people, killing up my family, killing up my friends. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing none of that at all. And I'm not trying to backdoor none of my friends over a few $100s. But like I said before, hey, everybody else is much more. Everybody is much more than a man than me. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. And people sit up there and try to tell me some instead of talking, why don't you old people try to tell us something? Tell you what? What do you? I've been doing this. I've been having these same conversations on this platform. On both platforms, mind you. One platform had about 16, I think, million views. The other platform, before all the videos were taken down and YouTube did what they did, originally that one was at 50 million within 4 years. So you can add up those numbers. I've done live streams, I've done videos, and I've tried to talk directly to the black community. I've tried to talk directly to the youth, to the quote unquote, to the YNs and all this other type of shit. I tried to talk to black men, try to talk to black women. I try to talk to everybody. And this is just an honest thing. As a black American male, right? For anybody who's listening, they got a problem with how it is that I talk. What the fuck do you want me to do? How the fuck do you want me to help you when you don't even want to help yourself? How do you want me to love you when you don't even love yourself? You want me to pour in energy into a black hole for what reason? What is that going to get me at the end of the day? Nowhere. I'm going to get sucked into a dark abyss. I'm not trying to be exactly where the fuck you at this moment in time if you can't see your way out. You do know that black holes pull in light, and not even light itself can escape that shit, right? So why am I going to decide to consistently keep within an orbit of that? Just explain that to me. But yet, when you hear people talk like this, people are like, oh man, you wrong for saying shit like that. You just an agent and this. Nah, y'all the real agents. Because whenever it is that black people want to start speaking on shit like this, magically y'all want to start piping up and having a problem. But you got more of a problem me speaking on it, but you got less of a problem with the people committing the crimes and the acts, doing all of the dirty work, killing your families, killing your babies, killing your friends, robbing your houses, shooting up your block. You got less of a problem with them, but more of a problem with me. How the fuck does that make sense? But I'm the problem? And you want me to continue to try to speak love, positivity, value, respect, this, that, and the third. For what reason? You don't respect and love yourself. So what do you want me to sit up there and do? Like, that's crazy. That's some diabolical work. Anyways, let's continue with the next one. Another person said, what is that? Envied every day, said, old niggas always talking down. I mean, this be the thing. Even when I was, I put it to you like this. Growing up, I saw young dudes amongst my own peers. I tried to talk common sense into them. I got told to mind my business. High school, again, saw young dudes, my own peers and other outsiders, and even younger, tried to talk to them and try to speak a little bit of wisdom, being a little bit of, a little older and all this other type of stuff. Motherfuckers still didn't want to sit up there and listen, right? And you keep going and you keep going, and it's the exact same thing time and time again. So I'm just trying to figure out, how long do you want people to sit up there and keep talking, knowing that the fact that ain't nothing going to get done, that people are deciding not to change? This is why I sit up there and say that for a lot of people out here who are, for me, I like to consider people like NPCs, basically meaning that however you are produced and programmed into the game, that is your life. That is your life expectancy. That's all you're going to be, right? So for a lot of people directly out here, it's just that. Right? A lot of people want to sit up there and say that they was born into this life. They was born to be hood. They was born to be a killer. They was born to be a shooter. All right, you're going to live to be a shooter, die to be a shooter. That's it. It's going to be a very short life expectancy. Do not expect to sit up there and see your 60s, to be sitting up there seeing a grand old age where you can sit up there and see things evolve. And expect to have the shortest lifespan possible, and it's by way of you. It's not because of the government. Because like I said, I'm speaking as a statistic. There's been a multitude of times I've been around people who had guns, drugs, all this other type of stuff. If you don't believe me, go look up a spot. I'm not sure if it might be still there, but it's a spot in Detroit. It's on Elmhurst and Dexter, right? Look at the Elmhurst and Dexter area in Detroit. Well, they might have, I'm not sure if they might have revitalized that, so to say, because they started putting in bike lanes and shit. But during the time of high school when I was playing, it was looking like World War III happened over there. It was vacant lots, few houses directly over there. And if you did go over there and play, it's like, yo, you might happen to see something happen. For me, luckily on the days that I played, the most that I ran directly into was like some of the guys from the block and one of the dudes that was a drug dealer. And like I said before, you knew that he was dealing due to the fact that the dude came out in slippers. He could hoop, but he was in slippers and he would never jump. The reason he never jumped was because he had something tucked directly in his back. How do I know that he was a drug dealer? Because the house that was 2 lots away from the court, he went directly underneath. He knocked on the side of that shit when a lady in a wheelchair, a guy. So let me explain, right? The boys went up to Elmhurst. We were playing 21. Dude was like, yo, can I play, shit around with y'all? Whatnot, whatever. Cool. No problem. Right? So he came there, started shooting, and you saw this dude, and you saw this woman in a wheelchair. And I'm like, all right, that's a little bit strange. Yeah, look back real quick. He was like, all right, I'll be right back. He went over, had a conversation with him, walked over 2 lots away from the court, knocked on the side of the house, got some stuff there, went back over there, handed it to him, handoff happened right there. And then he came back and played like ain't nothing happened. So like I said before, so for me, when I'm speaking directly on stuff, I'm at least speaking on stuff that I've at least seen. I ain't talking about like my own experiences of selling. No, I'm talking about stuff that I've actually viewed, not somebody else telling me a story. My ass is right there. Right. And then the crazy part is 2 weeks after that, there was a chalk outline because a young dude ended up getting his life taken directly on that exact same court. So, like I said, look up Elmhurst and Dexter and look up that court. That's where me and my boys used to play. So, like I said before, like, yo, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people, man. I've been talking, I've been speaking to people for the longest time possible, trying to quote unquote get through. And this is before social media. So the same thing I'm doing now, I've been doing this before I even knew about social media, before I even knew about how to even do any of this stuff out here. Unlike most people that want to come directly up to my platform and they want to start running their mouth. They got all the stuff to say in the comment section, but instead of putting the effort forward and trying to actually get through to the people that you say I'm talking down on, you want to be here arguing with me. That's some crazy work. That's really showing me how much you really care, quote unquote. That's diabolical in nature. Next, let's go to the next one. What is it? Anitius 316 said the OG trying to get his people killed, shaking my head. These peoples are agents. Don't believe them. How is he an agent? Because he's mad and he's just talking about the situation. Like I said, that's crazy to me. Next person said, what was it? Victoria Lake 9474 said, I have a few questions. Is this man a father? Has he married the mother of his children? Has he been a positive role model to anyone? I have a hard time even understanding the words that are coming out of his mouth. Instead of criticizing the young men, help them to become better men by being a good man. These young men see the older adults for what they are, hypocrites, all talk and no action, or real help for the problem. I do not have children, and I pray for these young people. So this is my thing for anybody out here who decide that they want to speak on somebody, and you sitting up here making this large swath of a thing here, and then you end your shit is like, yo, I don't even have kids. Why the fuck are you talking? You like so what are you doing? So let's say, right, let me just go back because I gotta click back over, right? So let's say this brother right here that's talking, right? Let's say he don't got kids, right? Let's say he ain't never been married, right? So he's not a part of the statistical group of black men that people always like to talk about, right? He's not, and this is just for conversation's sake, right? Because I'm going off of the comment that the person basically left. The brother's not married, one, like I'm guessing the person that left the comment. And number two, at least to my knowledge, the brother might not even have kids, right? So he's automatically, eons above the rest directly out there. So now what you're telling me is that he is responsible for other people's kids. He's responsible for managing. He's supposed to raise and teach when parents are supposed to raise and teach their kids. He's supposed to be responsible for somebody else's family, which he didn't sit up there and create. He didn't lend his DNA to nobody else. But you want him to be responsible, and you're calling him a hypocrite because he's not putting himself in the place to be responsible for somebody else's responsibilities. How did we get here? How specifically did we get here? Do you know how crazy that sounds? Just think if I sat up there and said that about black women in the black community. Do you understand the crucifixion that will go on out here? You understand how I would sit up there and get dragged? You understand the comments I would sit up there and get because of how crazy that sounds? That's wild. That is that's wild work. Like I said, you do understand, like, okay, I put it to you like this, right? The main thing that I've always stated before is that for me, I never had my father, right? I met him, years later. Good conversation and, and everything of that nature, right? But outside of that, I had positive black male role models. So I had my teachers, which I can still remember, my uncles before I had the disagreements that I have with them at this moment in time. All of my boys that I know, their fathers, like my boy Chris, shout out to Mr. Thomas, shout out to Mr. Satima, shout out to Mr. Roosevelt, right? Shout out to Mr. Dinkins and the many others directly out there. To my boy Zay Buki and them that I used to play basketball with. Their father was always present, always in their life, lived directly with them in the same exact household. So it's like, it's crazy to me when people sit up there and say, like, yo, you need to just be in there. No, you don't. You can just be around and have a positive effect. Because I saw all of these black fathers around me, I understood what being a black man was. I understood manhood. I understood what loving, caring, value, respect. I understood that. Right? I understood how much of a staple that is. And that's without them being specifically in my life, taking me to school, showing up to birthdays and all this other type of. So, like I said, it's weird to me to always have people make these conversations when they talk about, oh, black men need to do this, black men need to. Yo, no, actually they don't. Just them being there. Just them just living life, doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. Realistically, in a sense, that is enough. Now, again, I'm vastly different from everybody else. Some people, it may need to be more hands-on. Maybe people need to be more involved, right, directly in their lives. But then that's going to come into the fact of the men of that community, right, of that family, right, the brothers, the older brothers, the uncles, the grandfathers, right, the black male teachers, if there are even black male teachers at this moment in time, because good luck. But like I said, there are positive black male role models directly out there. Positive black male role models. But it seems as though that people ain't looking for them. People think that it's like a unicorn. It's a needle in a haystack, and it's not. In a lot of instances, just like I'm listing myself, I was around black male role models every single day whenever I went to my boy's house, whenever we played basketball, whenever we happened to got, picked up, whenever we went to, somebody's house, their father was there. I saw black fathers picking up, or at least black male role models, right? Could have been an older brother, uncle, or grandfather. I saw a black male picking up a child from school throughout my life. Like I said before, a lot of people, when it deals with this conversation of black men, a lot of people are disingenuous. A lot of people don't want to fully tell the whole scope, the whole picture. Because people want to paint the whole thing like, black men are, they create, single mothers and da. Relationships break down, marriages break down. People might not have they might not see eye to eye right now, but that doesn't mean that man is not in and around that child's life. Like I said, the CDC said it the best beyond anybody else. They said that black men are in and around their children's lives more than any other group directly out here. And that was the government. That was the CDC. But for whatever reason, you got people that like to leave comments. They don't want to bring none of that up. They always want to sit up there and start talking negative and rah and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, that's crazy to me. But it'd be like that. It's cool. It's cool. If people want to still live in that perspective and they still want to believe that black fathers don't exist, cool. Be that. You can live your life directly to the side. That's your situation. That is how it worked out specifically for you because of whatever relationship you and that guy had. Whatever choices y'all made as grown adults. Obviously, y'all ain't make the right ones, but it'd be like that. The child has to pay for the sins of the parents. It'd be like that. So next, let's go to the next comment, right? Last but not least. Oh, actually, it's not the last one. Yvette, what is that? Iveta Lee said when MFs say that they run the streets, they are referring to the drug distribution in the areas, not literally running it. LMAO. Also, it was multiple shootouts not every 3 days ago in Memphis. Unk ain't outside for real, on God. The YN's still active. Feds ain't stopping no motion. Also, they always say move smarter. Now that they move smarter, switched up the operations up, they want to complain. Man, watch out. Ain't nobody finna trick themselves off the streets to please no old head. And how the F are you going to make the government check in, LMAO? Also, rappers check in, not to get extorted, but for protection and guidance around the city. Also, every city don't make people check in. What is it? Yeah, check in. This the South, not California. The streets. Them changed. This isn't the 90s. Stay y'all out of the way and out of street business if you not in it. Now, wouldn't it be crazy for me to sit up there and say to anybody that's a part of let me go back to that dude's comment. So it's the let me see which comment was that? It's the pink one, magenta, or however it might show up on your screen. You might have to zoom in for that one. It's crazy how I heard a lot of people throughout my years always tell me like, yo, if you ain't in if you ain't a part of no gang, if you ain't a part of no prison, jail life, if you ain't a part of no street life, yo, don't speak on it. This, that, and the third. Nah. For me, this is how, and respectfully, right? I'm going to speak on it when I want to speak on it. Because whatever negativity that you're doing, and 9 times out of 10, if somebody ended up in jail and prison, well, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10 because I know the exoneration rates when it deals with black men. But what I'm saying is for the stories that we know of, when it deals with black men, when it deals with YNs and all this other type of stuff, y'all motherfuckers out here shooting, looting, and killing and doing all of this, that, and the third. So if I know that something is going on and it's affecting the community, inadvertently, that's going to end up affecting me. So I'm going to sit up there and speak directly on it. Like I'm not, you're not going to tell the police or the district attorney or judges, yo, if you ain't in street business, judge, don't be speaking on street business. Stay a square, stay a lane. What? You're not going to pull up to no newscasters and sit up there, yo, stop talking on hood business. Stop talking on street business. You ain't really from around these parts. We ain't never seen you before. So respectfully, you ain't about to pull up on nobody else. What? Like this is what people want to really hold on to? You want to hold on to ignorance? You want to hold on to like low self-esteem? Lack of respect? The streets don't care about nobody. Just like war don't care about nobody. This is why y'all out here dying. Y'all dying out here about these drugs. Y'all dying out here over these blocks that y'all been dying over. Hundreds of thousands of black men every single year dying over blocks that they don't own. Houses that they don't own. Like, dog, it's crazy. It's like you're born in debt, and then you stay in debt, and then you die, and then you create more debt. It's like that's some diabolical work. But you want to sit up there and say that I, as a black man that's talking about these issues and these problems, I'm more of a problem versus what's actually going on out here. That's some crazy work. And you want me to sit up there and find a way to keep speaking positively after all of these years? Huh? I'm confused. I'm I'm bewildered. I'm baffled. I'm gassed. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what people want me to sit up here and do. And it's crazy to always have people telling me that I need to sit up there and speak differently. I need to speak more positively. I did. When I spoke positive to motherfuckers, y'all niggas ain't want to listen. And I want to note when I say niggas, I'm using it indiscriminately. So I mean that for niggas, and I mean that for the bitches out here. Now, when I say bitches, I want people to understand that there's a difference between a woman and a bitch. There's a difference between a man and a nigga. There's completely two. There's segments. There's levels directly to this. So before you get into your emotions, think to yourself what you're going to categorize yourself as. If you could categorize yourself as a YN, you now fit within the nigga section. That means that you are out here getting black women. What is going on? Right, so I want people to know that there are different categories directly out here. So if as a woman you fit yourself as a bad bitch, if you fit yourself directly as some type of like whore or a hoe or all this, you fit directly into that category. You're in the baby mama category. You're in the one that doesn't make the right choices, the right selections. And men, you deal with niggas. For the niggas directly out here, you are in the same category as the baby mamas. You out here are procreating, not using no condoms, not using no protections. Y'all the reasons that the STD rates and the pregnancy rates are directly up. the reason why the murder rates are up in a lot of different areas and all this other type of stuff. You specifically, both groups, y'all put yourselves in negative ass areas on purpose. Low vibrational, highly chaotic, always into drama. Let me know if I'm missing anything. Because all I'm sitting up there looking at is death and destruction one way or another. If it's not by those two parties getting together and creating chaos, then they're going to sit up there and destroy each other one way or another. That's all I'm sitting up there saying. That's all I'm sitting up there saying. There are two categories. Again, let me just go back again. It's probably going to get demonetized. If you are a woman, it is a clear-cut difference. Women uphold themselves. They know how to walk and talk as a woman. They have value. They have respect. They have self-love. They can acknowledge their own mistakes. They can admit to their own mistakes, right? They move a certain type of way. Hoes, whores, bitches do not move in that type of way or that type of light. Like I said, sexy red, fucking out of town, moving my rounds, booty hole pink. I'm sorry, booty hole brown, pussy pink, whatever it was. I'm saying the lyrics backwards, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you prescribe or subscribe to any of that genre of music, I don't know what to sit up there and tell you. You did it to yourself, brother. Like I said, and that's to both groups. That is to both groups. It be like that. So if you want to get into your feelings, you better start looking at yourself. You better stare directly into a mirror before you look directly at me. Look at all the choices that you decided, you as a specific person, look at all of the choices that you made in life and try to figure out, could I have gone about this shit a different way? Maybe if I didn't sleep with this random dude unprotected because I found him attractive one way or another, even though I knew that he was bad for me, maybe I wouldn't be a single parent for the lifetime. Or in the reverse, if you're a YN or a nigga, yo, maybe if I wasn't fucking with these bitches, dog, like maybe if I actually use protection, I did get burned like a few times, but maybe if I would have, sat up there, made some better choices, with my life, I could have, went and not had a shootout, not had arguments. I could, not have a rap sheet. Maybe I could have sat up there and put a few hundred, dollars down, maybe even close to 1,000 to, to go to a school so I can, learn a skill or a trade. Maybe my life would have been different. Maybe I could have went for my CDL. Like, like I said before, both groups, y'all are some of the most destructive motherfuckers that we have directly in the black community. But y'all pull up to the scene and be trying to act holier as thou, and y'all act like I'm the problem. That's the craziest shit. That is the craziest shit. I do not understand. I don't understand. When I talk about whoredom, and I've highlighted that a lot, I will see women pull up to the scene to body block for whoredom. I'm like, what are we going on here? Like, if this was like, what was the whole thing with Sodom and Gomorrah, where people got turned directly in assault because they look back? If I'm highlighting this shit, you can look at it, but you don't need to sit up there and speak on, like, if you are directly within the spectrum of that I'm talking about, you're only outing yourself. I just want you to know that. I just want people to acknowledge their own faults and their mistakes. It's not me for bringing up the content. It's you for admitting that you body block whoredom and niggatry. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, vice versa, it don't matter if it's going, if the example goes for the women or example goes for the men. Y'all both are part of the exact same problem, but y'all want me to give solutions. When did Dr. Umar sit up there and tell people, hey, some people don't like it, but we're going to have to sit up there and put down some of these kids for good? But y'all was mad at him when he said that, though, right? And the main thing that y'all keep talking about is like, oh, Dr. Umar, about the schools, about the money. So while you keep fixating about that one thing, cool, no problem. How did y'all sit up there and prevent any of your kids from being YNs or hoes running up out here, getting trains ran directly on them? How did y'all prevent y'all sons from becoming killers and rapists, and your daughters from becoming baby makers, single mothers, dealing with gang members, the worst of the worst in the community? How did that go out? How did that work for y'all? How did that work out? Because like I said before, irregardless on who says anything, and I like to say irregardless, so fuck whoever got a problem with my English. Regardless on whoever basically speaks on it, it seems very odd that a lot of y'all always got y'all mouth open about somebody highlighting a problem. But y'all would rather have a problem with a person highlighting a problem versus coming up with a fucking solution. Because it's crazy to me that some of the main people talking are actually the fucking problem. Color me fucking surprised. It's crazy. It's some diabolical work. So let me just hit up this one comment real quick because I like to do this. Somebody said, "How does your projection of public judgment help you? Are you just feeding an unconscious ego, an illusion of emotions?" Next, they said, "Pity for a man who has such little to offer. They can only offer thinking about other genitals and their performatives about strangers and strangers. Poor men." Next, they said, "May your visit offer in servitude benefit to you, sir. Namaste." What the fuck are you even talking about? Like, y'all motherfuckers be pulling up here with this holier than thou shit and this, that, and the third. Like, dog, you ain't say nothing. You're in a long line of other motherfuckers that come directly up here to critique me and really not say shit. So the craziest part is, right? You want to say, what is it that I have to offer? Now, this is where I want to explain to people where this becomes a double-edged sword. I can list things that I have given to people because I wanted to, right? Because I felt, great. I felt happy. I wanted to, give that same thing to other people directly out there. But then if I decide to speak on that, people are like, well, if you actually meant to do that from your heart, why would you need to bring it up? Why you need to sit up there and talk about it? That only shows that you did it for validation and this, that, and the third. These are the problems that we have here, right? So it's like, yeah, you could ignore it, but it's like, that this person is basically just fabricating some stuff and they don't know nothing about nothing. But then if you decide to speak on it, now people want to be like, you're not actually a good person because good deeds don't go, they don't need to be spoken on. It's just like, there's some wild stuff out here. There's some wild stuff out here, man. Like, I tell you, I kid you not, it is wild directly out here, right? But anyways, let's look at the next comment directly down. So we got MMOQ4R that said, ranting and raving about doing ish but spreading division and hatred. Every black person needs to be on code, especially YNs, because y'all need us as much as we need you. When it's really time to fight, is his old self ain't going to step up. Guarantee you it's going to be young people, if there is ever a race war, to hold the line and fight because we got the spirit, energy, and youth. Black put down, I think they're supposed to say blacks. Blacks put down gangsters and thugs that sometimes their vibe, what? Is the only reason why a lot of times people don't mess with us. What was that? I don't even know what them. Okay, but go ahead and let Trump and these MAGA people use the military to come in and ruin our nation and our rights. Be like Martin Luther King and see how these MAGAs treat you. Me? Nah. I was taught to follow the Panthers and Malcolm X. So let me make sure I got that comment up there. So that comment is from the purple M that you see directly up there. And this is my thing though. If you're really about the Black Panthers and Malcolm X, then that means that you should be really serving your people in the community. You should be starting up a lot of things. It don't matter if it's a bookstore. It doesn't matter if it's a before or after school type of like program. It doesn't matter if it's like some community driven prenatal care spot for Black women or whatnot or whatever, right? You should be really focused in and doing that. You shouldn't even really have time to respond to me. Realistically, I should not even, energy shouldn't even be lending my way if you was really about that life. If those are really the teachings that you are on, if that's the type of time that you're realistically on, you shouldn't have even had the energy or the time to even spot any of my content and to even leave energy here. That's crazy to me. So, like I said, it's crazy when people want to critique what it is that I'm doing, but then I look at these comments, but I'm like, what realistically are you doing? If you're as important or doing the important things as you say you are doing, you're not here. Like, case in point, one of two of the brothers that I love the most that have been out here on social media doing the stuff like 10 plus, even like 20 years strong. You got a brother, Riza Islam, who is one of the brothers I'm speaking of, right? Brother Riza Islam has been out here, in conversations, out here in debates, out here in protests, out here speaking to a variety of folks. That brother is not realistically under other people's videos when it deals with like commentary, YouTube, and all this. He's focused on other stuff. He's actually doing stuff out here. He's actually moving. So when I have to sit up there and try to put things into perspective, and I'm looking at somebody like Brother Riza Islam who is out here doing, and I'm looking at people leaving me comments like this, I know that there's clear cut of difference. It's night and day. One is a doer and one is just realistically talking. The same exact way that people say that I'm talking, you sitting up there doing the exact same amount of talking. Crazy work. It's diabolical in nature. Now, we're going to go to the very last comment, and then I'll be able to read off some of the stories that I have directly for you. Thomas Brown said, what do you expect these young males with felonies to do to the wicked that comes in all colors? What's the solution? And in what way is the Black community helping to resolve instead of criticizing, as we already know the problem? You sound like those immigrants trying to set us up to be slaughtered by the injustice system. It's amazing how many men overlook those who procreate by going after those in our community. Two different ways. I got to paraphrase because dealing with one starts with the letter M, the other one starts with the R, right? And then the person went on to say seducing the naive, messing with the mentally slow or the ill, and don't forget about the underage marriages. I'm not sure about underage. Who in the Black community is in an underage? Okay. Anyways, the person said being in any of those situations can make one become sexually amped up activities with low self-esteem. Or how about the female and male children whose father is either not around or is toxic, who watches their mother being disrespected by not only the Black male, but by society that continues the dysfunction cycle with low expectations, regardless if she allows foolishness and oh my God. Oh my God. You're talking about, first of all, for the higher tier negative extensions that this person is even referring to, that's not even really on the board. That's not even really on the board. You like, dear Jesus, sweet Christ. So are we going to categorize every single Black woman directly out here in the Black community? Let's just even break it down to 50-50. So we're going to say that what 50% of Black women directly out here, they've either been in underage marriages, they're slow, which means that mentally they're just not there. And then that 50% also has either been either in an M type of situation or an R type of situation, which then forced them to produce a child. So that's what that's what we're going. Like when people happen to say these things and bring them up, I'm just trying to figure out what specifically are the statistics that we're going directly off of. That's all I want to know. Like I said, not saying that those things don't happen. I've covered stories like that before, but that is not the greater majority of stories. People make decisions directly out here, but it seems as though people would rather look at the further extent as some type of a majority type of thing. But all right. No, I get that the person is talking about Black families being dysfunctional, but again, what are the percentages that you're specifically referring to? Like I said, I can have my critiques about things, but I can also stay within the realms of reality. like I said, I'm as the last part stated, I could sit up there and speak as growing up in a single parent household. I never at a moment in time ever heard of or saw my mother disrespecting my father or my father disrespecting my mother. Never saw any type of text messages, never saw any messages, no types of, just I'm about to drop by the house and just, cuss out your mom, or mom is about to go over wherever he's at and do. I ain't never seen none of that. So all I'm saying is a lot of people make choices when it deals with a variety of dysfunction that takes place, when it deals with drama, when it deals with relationships, when it deals with who people want to sleep with unprotected. A lot of people make choices, willing choices, consensual choices. I ain't talking about people being inebriated. I ain't talking about people being drugged and all this other. I'm talking about normal, like as we're talking right now, you got women on dating apps that's about to sit up there and go on a lunch date, or setting up a date with a random guy. Consensual choices that people decide to make every single day. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now we're gonna, because I had some people that wanted to speak on, or have problems, right? Looking at those comments, they wanted to specifically have problems with the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So I'm like, cool, no problem. We're gonna have this as a YN news live stream section where you're going to hear a lot of negative news about a lot of YNs, right? So we got one, and again, this is from a variety of areas, right? This is from, varying times, just to show that, it's been there, right? So this story, we got a dangerous teenager who shot a woman in the head through the front door of her home in East London has been handed a life sentence. Joshua Alexander, age 17, was handed a minimum jail term of 29 years after being found guilty of murder of Lillian Gordon, age 42, almost a year ago. Gordon had just returned from a holiday in Jamaica when she was attacked in Hackney on the 5th of December 2023, wearing a baklava. Right? Alexander shot Gordon through her front door as she tried to shut it in an attempt to protect her children. When he returned home, Alexander made 65 searches on news sites and social media in relation to the shooting, searching for the words fatal shooting in Hackney. And Leanne Gordon. Alexander was arrested at his home address on 8th of December 2023. Officers found a Class A drug, a machete, a burner, which is a phone, and drug paraphernalia. A glove seized from the property also has his DNA and firearm residue on it, linking him to the shooting. Right? 1 YN. 17, that's diabolical work. Killed a woman that looks just like you. Trying to break in and rob a woman that looks just like you. Interesting work. Like I said, diabolical. Shout out to the UK, right? Next, we got these two we got these two geniuses right here. As you can clearly see by the title. This one happened in Escambia County, Florida. The arrest report for the September 2024 Ferry Pass murder reveals that 30-year-old victim was shot and killed in an apparent planned attack by his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend. They stated that Derek Stewart, age 27, and Desiree McCants, age 21, were arrested Wednesday for the murder of Larry Spires III on September 20th of 2024. Stewart is charged with murder, while McCants is charged with principal to murder. Both are being held in Escambia County jail without bond. The shooting happened at around 3 a.m. outside of an apartment at 8340 County Walk Drive, where McCants resides. Spire's body was found in the grass later that morning with 3 gunshot wounds. According to reports, an investigation revealed that Spires and McCants had been in a past relationship, but McCants and Stewart's were in a current relationship. The report states that after 2 a.m. on September 20th, Spires was with another person who told him that Stewards was now, quote, seeing McCants. Spires then called McCants to talk about the situation, telling her he was coming over to her country walk drive residence and he would call when he arrived. According to the report, video surveillance showed the shooting unfolding. The report states that at 3:02 a.m., a black Nissan sedan with McCants driving and Stewart in the passenger seat arrived at the complex and backed into a parking spot. Quote, as the vehicle is parking, it appears that the driver's phone lights up and flashes several times as if getting a phone call. Moments later, video shows that Stewart exiting the passenger seat, walking to where Spires is standing near his car, shooting him 3 times, according to the reports. Stewart then sprints back to the car and jumps in the passenger seat before the vehicle takes off north at a high rate of speed. The report states that investigators obtained search warrants to analyze Stewart's and McCann's cell phone records from the night of the following day. According to reports, the cell phone records puts both of them at the crime scene that night and shows that they eventually traveled together to Atlanta later in the afternoon. The report states that on September 23rd, after deputies put out a notice to all law enforcement about the black Nissan sedan being used in a violent felony, police in Brookhaven, Georgia, located the vehicle at the apartment complex in their area. They then towed the vehicle to their police department. Records show that Stewart had been arrested 11 times in Escambia County since 2012, as well as 3 times in Santa Rosa County since 2020. He served over a year in prison from 2015 to 2016 for a carjacking case, then served over a year in prison from April 2023 to May of 2024 for meth trafficking. Wow. Wow. that's some diabolical work. For the life of me, I cannot fathom why a woman such as this would decide to be with a felon. All the selective choices that she could have potentially went for in guys, she decided to, okay. But like I said, and this is what I told people before, when I happen to, think about the terminology of niggas and YNs, I use it indiscriminately. I use it for both black men and black women and black men, young black men, young black women, young black women, young black men, right? Because I love equality and I try to treat it directly as such. I don't look at just, one area as the most dangerous. I look at both, right? Because the moment in time, because you got to realize the moment in time that you think that a woman is not dangerous, you done already messed up. She can automatically get one directly on you, and it's going to be 4 guys directly at your home, and you're gone. You're out of here because you think one of your homies is actually more lethal than she is. Nah. Nah, son. That's how snakes get you, but it be like that though. And some people are going to sit up there and learn the hard way or learn a very tough lesson, and there's not going to be no Ready Player One because you only got one life. There's no respawning in this lifetime. Not in this game. You're playing hardcore at this moment. So now we're going to go to the next story here. Right? So they said the suspect in a fatal stabbing of a 43-year-old woman outside of a Staten Island apartment building last week surrendered on Monday. The 20-year-old suspect claims that she was acting in self-defense in the death of Janira Roundtree. Jasmine Thomas is charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. Roundtree was killed last Tuesday. She was stabbed and slashed after her friends state that she tried to intervene in a fight involving 20 women. She was stabbed in the chest and slashed in the stomach before taken to Richmond University Medical Center, where she was pronounced deceased. Her friends state that Roundtree always walked around with a smile and was passionate about helping the kids in the community stay off the streets. A friend stated that Roundtree rushed downstairs to help after learning one of her 4 children was in the middle of a large crowd of 20 women engaged in a dispute. Quote, the neighborhood was important to her because she wanted different for all kids coming up, and she was trying to make a difference. She was. And that's what her friend stated. So, like I said before, when I happen to use the terminology YNs, I use it indiscriminately because this YN right here, who just so happens to be a female, you can clearly see that it's a female. She decided that, she was amongst a group of 20 other women, color me surprised, and it was a large brouhaha, large argument. And color me surprised, where nowhere in the article did it say that a man was involved with the situation. Color me surprised when it did not state that a man was the one that sat up there and did all of the slashing. She basically Freddy Kruegered another woman for no reason. She pulled out that knife and she thought she was just like the nicest butcher. She was trying to draw a tattoo. She thought she was Zorro the Gay Blade out here. She was just out there. Cha-cha. But like I said before, whenever I happen to talk about a lot of these stories, people don't got nothing to say. People don't got nothing to say. And people will, if they do have something to say, it's like, oh, why you always gotta, try to, black people are not a monolith. And well, why you always try to put us in this box? And what does this have to do with the rest of us? And da 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 da. Because inadvertently, even though if you weren't there, you're not associated with this person, you don't know who this person is. This person hangs around other people that are unknown. Those other people could have the same mentality and take the exact same actions as the woman that you see directly in front of you. Again, this is why I bring up a lot of these stories. But like I say, you got a lot of other people out there that were like, nah, you don't need to talk about those. Talk about more positive stories. Talk about more uplifting stories. Let me let y'all know something. At a moment in time, I'd have sat up there and put up some positive stories about black folks. All the motherfuckers that normally tell me they want to see positive shit, they never show up to those stories. I can sit up there and start doing some, some Bible type stuff. People ain't showing up. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Like I said, I get tired of people trying to like be fake out here. Like people always try to play this holier than thou type of card and act like they're going to be there every single Sunday, and you're not. You act like you're going to be there every single Bible study. You not. You acting like you're going to be there bright shining early whenever God, the Lord, or whoever basically calls upon you. No, you're going to hit that snooze button, be like, yo, 5 more minutes. Like I said, it's some crazy work directly out here, but like I said, I'm the problem though. So all right, no problem. I'll show you what the problem is. I got you. I got you. We got this on lock today. So now we're going to go over to the next story. Right, we're dealing with YN News Central at this moment in time. Harris County, Texas. A man has been charged with capital murder almost 4 months after a 20-year-old mother and her unborn child were killed. The deadly shooting happened near a gas station in North Harris County back in September. Kaylin, what is it? Hold on. Or maybe it might be Keelan. Keelan Hollins, age 20, is charged with capital, so he is a YN, is charged with capital murder in the deaths of Jennifer Hernandez and her unborn child and aggravated assault for injury. Hernandez's 17-year-old boyfriend. Harris County Sheriff's deputies said that Hollins was out on bond for 2 felonies, tampering and theft stemming incidents from February and April of 2020 at the time of the shooting. Hollins appeared in court on Thursday morning. A judge set his bond to $1 million for the capital murder charge and $50,000 for aggravated assault charge. His bond was doubled for his previous felonies, $40K and $200K. Hernandez was 8 months pregnant with her first child, a baby boy. At the time of the shooting, she died just 1 day before her baby shower. Deputies stated that Hernandez and her boyfriend had just left a Shell gas station on Aritex Drive and Ella Boulevard when they were shot at multiple times. Their car had multiple bullet holes through the door and the windows. Hernandez was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced deceased, and her unborn child did not survive. The boyfriend was shot twice and survived. He reportedly told deputies they had no interactions with the white car the shooter was in before shots rang out. The motives behind the deadly shooting are still unknown. It's unclear if there is any connection between Hollins and Hernandez or her boyfriend. Look at that. Seems to be another YN. I don't really see positive YN stories here. I don't see no positive YN stories. Like I said, people always want to run their mouth, but when you start showcasing stories, magically people start piping down. Nobody got nothing to sit up there and say, right? Why is it that as the person I am, I got to come up with solutions for other folks directly out here, right? I'm just trying to figure out, right? If I'm a part of a demographic, right, a part of an age range in an area, shouldn't I technically be focused on that age range and area? Shouldn't technically the YNs be, managing the other YNs? There should be a smarter YN out there that's smarter than a bunch that actually was like, yo, let me get my Lex Luthor brain going and let me just become like a businessman real quick. Let me just get directly up out of these streets and let me, bring some other YNs directly with me and we can move differently. We can actually do some stuff legally. Instead of jacking up the community, we can actually employ our own people who quote unquote got felonies, who got priors, and all this other type of stuff. We can have a job waiting for them when they get out and come home. Why is that not the thing? I'm just saying. Just saying. Shout out to the Power Rangers. Somebody said, I understand, my guy, I understand your frustration, but it's somebody. Well, let me go back to your first one. You said, YN, you said, so what do you call an ignorant white kid? I don't care about ignorant white kids at this moment in time. I'm clearly talking as a Black American male in the United States, born and raised in Detroit, born as a statistic, beating out the statistics that everybody talks about. I'm specifically speaking on my community. So I'm just trying to figure out why is it that when stuff starts hitting a little bit too close to home, people are like, yo, so why don't you talk about the white folks like this? Why don't you start talking about the Hispanics? Why don't you talk about the Asians? Why don't you talk about the Africans, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Mexicans, the Europeans, the Australians, those coming across the Bering Straits, the aliens in Antarctica? It's crazy to me that people want me. Brother, oh my God. This is why stuff don't happen. This is why we can't get nowhere. You said it's biased. I guess so. I guess it is biased because I've seen certain things. Born and raised in Detroit. Like I said, I had a standard issue neighborhood where nothing was really happening, nothing was going on. You got some teachers, you might have some lawyers there, you got some people that work in the factories, right? You got older Black folks there with their families. And just so it happened when I left one block, right, where I first grew up, where there was a shootout that took place, people, speeding up and down the streets, severe arguments taking place, fire bombings that took place as well. Left one block for a better block, and what I ended up seeing that I never saw before? I saw a young Black man sit up there and lose his life. That was a day I never forget because I was playing. It should have been either Destiny and or Call of Duty during that time, and it was around in between the times of 12 to 1 something at night. I remember seeing a dark colored car speed up and like pull up somewhere on the corner of the block. I'm like, all right, that's a little bit weird, whatever. And then they speed off, right? So then the next thing I know, a few moments later, you hear pop pop, and they speed back to the same place and they dump his body out the car and they speed off. One of the women on the other side of the block, who was a nurse, tried to come through and give CPR, tried to, give some, resuscitation or whatever it is. And he was pronounced dead before EMS even came there. So I guess I guess it is biased, right? Because like I said, I've seen stuff. That's something I never wanted to sit up there and see. That's something that nobody should ever have to see. Somebody lying there lifeless on the ground, on the street, being abandoned like trash. So like I said, miss me with all of that bullshit, man. So if I'm sitting up there talking about these young YNs directly out here sitting up there taking lives, I'm going to sit up there and fucking talk about it. If you got a problem with it, move on. Block my channel, dog. Like I said, I don't got no other words for you. And this is how crazy it is because I've showcased. I got videos and I got stories up here of YNs being men and women. So I'm a little bit confused. I think I'm actually being quite equal out here because if I really wanted to sit up there and go to the full extent, I could have a showcase of, hours long of a whole bunch of YNs young black men, young black boys out here just sitting up there tearing up and running through the block. And then what you going to tell me? Then what you going to sit up there and tell me now? Like I'm a white supremacist. I'm the same as mainstream media. All I do is talk about negative stuff when it deals with the black community, even though I talk about everybody consistently. Like I say, you can't win for losing. And this is why I said I've told people before. At the end of the day, all you have to do technically, this live stream would not have even have happened if people didn't come through saying dumbass shit to me in my comment section. If you would have just let me alone, I would have already had like 3 videos done already, had them boys uploaded for y'all, and I would have been downstairs playing Battlefield 6. But oh no, people wanted to pull up to in the scene and they wanted to be stupid and talk stupid. So we can all get stupid together. Like I said before, just like the person sat up there and said that old men like me are going to sit up there and need to go to hell or burn in hell. No problem. I'm going to hold several seats for a lot of other motherfuckers directly out there. We're going to burn in this bitch together. I am not going to be the only one, brother. Oh, no. Like I said, if you go lower, we go past the Earth's core. We're going to go to depths that you have never seen before. We're going to go to the depths of which only the book of Enoch has talked about. So like I said, I got you. We are out here today. This is YN News Central in this bitch. Like I said, you can like it, you can love it, or you can hate it, but you're going to sit up there and get this work today. So now we're going to go to this next story. Right? Mobile, Alabama. A man is charged with the murder of a missing woman out of Escambia County, Florida, whose body was found in Mobile, Alabama on Wednesday afternoon. According to Escambia County deputies, 20-year-old Willie Ellington was arrested in Opelika, Alabama. I probably mispronounced that. Excuse me. He is an active duty Marine on board in NAS Pensacola. That's crazy. You had a nice job and you decided as a YN that you wanted to take. Ellington faces first-degree murder and possession of CP charges. Jesus Christ. It got worse. Mobile police stated that the body of 26-year-old Tashay Bennett was found in a ditch around 12:30 p.m. in the Birdville area of Cardenville Drive and Eagle Drive. Quote, due to suspicious circumstances surrounding her disappearance, investigators have been working the case as a potential homicide, and the Escambia County deputy located her body. The Mobile Drive team was called to the scene to recover Bennett. Next, they said throughout the investigation, it was determined that Tashay Bennett was working as an escort and had met the suspect at the Sweet Dreams Inn at the time of her disappearance. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office led the investigation with assistance from Mobile Police. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. So this YN, who I'm guessing, probably wanted to take the easy route, may have some problems getting women or whatnot or whatever, decided to be with an escort, and that wasn't good enough. So he decided to sit up there and take her life. That wasn't good enough. He also was found to have CP on, devices. Doesn't matter if it was a cell phone, tablet, or whatnot or whatever. This was just bad all around. This was just completely bad all the way around. But like I said, this is another YN. This is another YN taking lives, robbing and stealing, killing and dealing. But yet I'm the one that's the problem, though. Like I said, we're going to burn in hell together. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So next, we're going to go to the next story here. Right? Chicago. A Chicago man is facing charges in a deadly home invasion earlier Sunday in the East Chattanooga neighborhood on the South Side. Timothy Royster, age 21, was accused of breaking into a home at around 4:20 a.m. in the 800 block of East 83rd Street and opening fire, striking 18-year-old Ashley Elliott and 19-year-old man. Royster was pointed Royster also pointed a gun at a 34-year-old woman who was also in the residence. Both victims suffered gunshot wounds to the face and were taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where Elliott was pronounced deceased. The man was listed in serious condition. Royster was arrested at 9:24 p.m. Sunday in the Gresham neighborhood. He was charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 4 counts of home invasion and with a firearm, aggravated battery with discharge of a firearm, and possession of a controlled substance. Royster is due in court on Tuesday. Color me surprised. Going after women. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. Another YN decided that I'm going to just pop up in his house. And I wouldn't be too surprised if this YN had a relationship with the 18-year-old, and that's probably why he pulled up over there. It's just a theory, just a theory, because it's a little bit odd that you specifically show up to the house and then you just point guns in people's faces, because it don't seem like a robbery. Seems like somebody was real emotional, and that's what you got with a lot of these YNs directly out here. A lot of them are highly emotional. They don't know how to, temper themselves. So when they got a weapon and you got somebody that got a gun and they got emotions, they're going to go with whatever their brain basically tells them, which is the stupidest thing to actually do, because case in point, you'll end up just like him, going after women. Because notice how, the women mainly got really affected by the circumstance, but the man that was involved, the young man that was involved, serious condition. Seems like somebody doesn't know how to hold their emotions together. I myself, as a black male, I've never decided that, let me sit up there and procure some magical weapon that I'm not supposed to have and roll up to somebody's house because I feel a certain type of way. Bye-bye. You decided to give some Alec Baldwin justice for no reason, because you don't know how to hold your emotions. You don't know how to temper yourself. That's some crazy work. That's some diabolical work. That's some diabolical work. All right, Will, what is up? You said, are these all black Americans or come from immigrant backgrounds? This is my point in time. This is how I'm going to say this, real quick. If anybody takes offense, you're more than free to take offense. We're all going to hell together today. I don't give a fuck. I want people to understand that. When I go over any of these stories and I'm reading directly through these articles, I'm putting the title of the article. I did not rewrite the articles. So you can go through and do your due diligence, do the hard work and dedication to find out if these are immigrant. At this point in time, I give not 2 fucks. I give not 2 fucks, because realistically, just to talk into like a reality standpoint, if at any point in time the black community, if we, and I say we because I'm not above or below, I see the exact same problems, the exact same issues. The only difference is I'm a little bit more vocal than a lot of other folks directly out here, and I got a platform to sit up there and do it. But yet before I had a platform, I was already doing this, right? If we were already doing the shit that needs to be done, we wouldn't have to have a conversation talking about, well, do we know if these are immigrants or not? Because we would be able to specifically spot them out, because the black community will be standing specifically one way, and then those immigrants will be standing a whole nother way, which we know that they can't match in. They could never be here. But yet here we are, because everybody wanted to do the whole come along to get along type of shit. And this is basically where it gets you. The same way that people wanted to do integration, and how white people was like, y'all want to integrate, no problem. Now y'all closer by us, we can sit up there and round y'all up and get y'all even quicker. Thank you, black people. It's the exact same way that black people decided that they wanted to allow all these other groups basically amongst them in the black community, because we're like, we see what everybody else is going through, so we're going to sit up there and pull y'all directly in, not knowing that sooner or later, and sooner, mind you, people are going to start sitting up there really showing their ass online. So like I said, any and all of the things that are specifically happening to black people at this moment in time is because black people have allowed these things to basically happen historically. Like I said, if people want to debate about it, you better debate with God, because he's able to see past, present, and future all at the same time. Like I said, I'm not the one that playing the shit out. Right? So next, we're going to go to the next YN story. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. A Maryland man has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder for allegedly killing a 73-year-old woman with a forklift. Investigators said that Bryce Khalib, Timothy Brown, age 20, broke into a Lowe's home improvement store in Waldorf, Maryland, and stole a forklift. The man then allegedly rammed the forklift through the back gates of the store and entered the parking lot of a nearby Home Depot, where Glorstein Pickney was sleeping in her car. According to a press release, Brown hit Pickney's car with the forklift, waking her up and prompting her to get out and run away. Brown then chased after her with the forklift and ran her over before stealing her car and fleeing from police. Shortly after the incident occurred, detectives report that they responded to a call of a burglary in progress at a Lowe's at 12:04 a.m. on Sunday. Upon arrival, they discovered the scene in a nearby Home Depot parking lot, where they found Pickney underneath the forklift. Pickney was pronounced deceased at the scene, and it was later determined by investigators that the victim and the suspect did not know each other, although both were from Waldorf. Later that day, after pursuing leads, authorities found the victim's vehicle near Brown's home. Brown was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, assault, theft, and other related charges. Brown is currently being held without bond at the Charles County Detention Center, and it is unclear if he has obtained legal counsel. Color me surprised. Another YN that decided that, I'm just going to sit up there and do whatever it is that I want to sit up there and do. And then while also committing that crime, I'm going to make it worse, and I'm going to chase somebody with this vehicle, and I'm going to take their life, all for no reason at all. Like I said before, I'm still waiting on the whole thing of, like, thousands of stories where it showcases like YNs in a positive light. Oh, that's right. There are none, because those positive young black males don't consider themselves YNs. Color me surprised. That was dumb of me. Why would I expect YNs to have positive stories? What? That's diabolical. That's egregious. Next, we're gonna go to this one. Right? So we're going back to Georgia, the Cobb County. The hunt is now on to find a convicted killer who is on the run after prosecutors state that he jumped bail during his trial. 26-year-old Devontae Ford and 25-year-old Jaquan Brooks were found guilty earlier this month of murdering Skylar Gilmore, a transgender woman, back in 2021. Brooks is in custody, but Ford is not. Let me see. Quote, and these are quotes. This is from Skylar's father, said that I'm hoping he's caught because this is a bad guy. Next stated that Skylar's father stated this after the verdict, said, I have peace and I'll find much more of that when they catch this guy too. The DeKalb County District Attorney's Office stated that Ford was released on bond in February by DeKalb County Superior Court Judge Nora Polk, despite their objections. Prosecutors say that Ford took off in the middle of the trial, but earlier this month, a jury still found him and his partner guilty. Quote, this is why our office works so hard to get bonds denied in cases like this, but it's not our decision. It's not our decision to grant bond. Supervising investigator in the homicide of gang unit at the Cobb County District Attorney's Office. Investigators state that Skylar, whose legal name was Chase Gilmore, was shot and killed in her Stone Mountain apartment. Detectives used phone data and surveillance video to link Ford and Brooks to the crime. Prosecutors say the two were members of a local gang, color me surprised, which ordered them to murder her after it was discovered that she was sleeping with another member of the gang. So we're dealing with black gay gangs. Okay. Let me just continue. They said our focus is getting him in custody. We feel that he's a danger to society. And also, the victim's family deserves to also face him in court when he is sentenced for what he did. Skylar's dad is hopeful for an arrest soon, so the two can be sentenced in the coming weeks. Quote, personally, I don't think that he's supposed to have been out on a $2,500 bond. Sorry, $25,000 bond on a murder case, but he was. And I understand that, but I'm hoping that the people get him and they get him fast. Ford was found guilty of malice murder and other charges, so he faces the rest of his life in prison. Prosecutors state that he has ties to California. So we're dealing with gay gang members that got mad when somebody else who is gay was sleeping with another member of the gang who is gay. So you used some gay gangsters to put out a gay hit on another gay person. Okay. I can't. Let me tell you, I just want to note to a lot of y'all, when I grab these stories, I did not fully read them through. I am completely bewildered and baffled. This is when I got to make a segment to like the gay community. What are y'all doing to the black gay folks out there? What are y'all doing? Y'all got gay gangs where y'all do hits like this? Like I'm not even. Can I even call this a hate crime? Like I'm not even sure what this would this be like, self versus self. I'm not even sure what to even call this right now, because there's nothing straight about this situation. There's nothing there's nothing straight about this situation. Like this is wild. But like I said, at the end of the day, you got these YNs committing these crimes. That's crazy. Shout out to the Boondocks, because I'm pretty sure an episode covered some stuff like this. It'd be like that though, but do the homie. Anyways, we're going to continue on to the next story directly up here. Right? Let me make sure this is the. Wait, is this the right one? Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, I had to cut that real quick. Wait, give me a second. Okay, yeah, this is the right story. Okay. So I want to note to people that yes, this is a woman. Just in case anybody is pondering and trying to figure some stuff out. Yes, that is a woman. Just has a little bit of a shadow and a mustache. Be like that. Rock Hill, South Carolina. A Rock Hill man shot and killed a coworker in self-defense after she pointed a gun at him during an argument on Wednesday. Detectives state that a woman is charged, the woman that you see in front of you, a woman is charged with murder for bringing the gun to the woman who was killed. The shooting happened at around 3 p.m. along Riverwalk Parkway near, what is that? Clear River Road, just east of Interstate 77 in Rock Hill. When officers arrived, they found a woman lying on the ground after she had been shot. The woman was taken to Piedmont Medical Center, where she later died. The woman has been identified as 39-year-old Rock Hill resident Samarian Lindsay. A man police state was responsible for the shooting was detained at the scene when officers got there. Officers determined that the man and woman involved in the shooting got into an argument that escalated while leaving work. When the man got into his car to go, the woman got into a car driven by the third person, as you can see, who pulled her up to block the man from leaving. The man's coworker got out of the car and approached the passenger side of his car with a gun. The man then pulled out a handgun and shot her in self-defense. The driver of the other vehicle, identified as 32-year-old Brittany Reed, allegedly punched the man in the face after the shooting. The man told Reed to get away, and he waited for police to arrive. Rock Hill police stated that the man will not be charged in the shooting, as they determined it was in self-defense. Reed was charged with assault and battery on Wednesday. Reed's charges were upgraded to murder on Thursday after investigators learned that she brought the gun to Lindsay. So color me surprised. A man had a simple argument with a woman at work. The man was getting into his car to leave. Another woman basically overheard the argument. This is how dummies basically roll. Birds of a feather flock together, but I guess some die alone. So the woman that you see here decided to block in the man's car, hand the other woman a gun. That woman decided that she wanted to pull up to the side of the man's car with said gun. The dude was like, yeah, we ain't doing this. Alec Baldwin style, bow, bow, bow. Okay, corral. And now she is gone. She is dead. She is deceased. She is in a body bag because she played stupid games and won a very great ultimate prize of never coming back, never to be seen ever again. When people say friends don't let friends drive drunk, this is in a sense what that looks like. Friends do not allow dummies to be around them because dummies will get you caught up in situations that you can never come back from while the dummy is actually still alive. Look at dummy A, still alive, still breathing, still here. Crazy work. And this is why I set up and told a lot of people before, if a man is trying to leave a situation or an argument, let that man leave. Do not poke a bear. Do not go up to a man during an argument when he's angry and all this. Don't be trying to sit up there and pull up to the scene like you're a man. I want people to understand this. Both of these women took on the actions of something that you might see men out here doing. It's like, oh no, bro, you ain't about to leave. We're about to sit up there and handle this right here. That's what they decided to do. So when I sit up there and tell people that if you are a woman, stay in a woman's place, I mean just that. Do not fix your ass to sit up there and get into a man's face. If you do, you will get treated just like a man. Bow, bow, Alec Baldwin. That's what happened. That's what happened. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And lo and behold, the man was in self-defense. Number one, he got punched in the face. He already got assaulted. And then number two, you're going to pull up to his car with a gun. Now he's in fear of his life because he don't know what you're going to do after he's already assaulted. Bow, bow. I'm shocked he didn't spray up the whole scene, just to be real. I'm shocked because realistically, his car is blocked in. You got a multitude of people basically coming out of a car, coming to your vehicle. But like I said, you got YNs directly out here. She's in her 30s. She's still a YN because she made stupid choices and stupid decisions. Now she got to deal with those lifelong decisions and consequences. That's some crazy work. That's some crazy work. That's diabolical in nature. But like I said before, and like I try to do, I try to tell people like, hey, I look at everybody as dangerous. I'm not just looking at black men. I'm looking at black women as well, too. Because like I said before, you got Edward Scissorhands in one of the previous stories that I gave you that carved up a woman for no reason. And that woman was a pillar in a sense of the block, cared for the kids. But do you think that those other 20 women that wanted to get into an argument cared about those kids? They said, fuck those kids. Do you know what the woman that said fuck those kids did to that woman that actually cared about those kids? She scarred and knifed her up. She butchered that girl. But do you think that people got anything to say about that? No, because what are they going to do? Oh, but the black men, femicide, femicide. You kill us, you kill us, you kill us. It's going to be that on repeat. But yet they're going to gloss over and overlook how women are fighting other women. Why would women be 20 deep on the streets fighting? I'm just I'm just like, what would there really be there to fight directly over for women? If dudes are fighting, it's like guys are stupid. I get it. Guys sit up there and fight. I get it. Shoes. Somebody says something. I got my boys here. You got your. I get that. Again, guys are stupid. Guys sit up there and fight over dumb stuff. I get that. But for women, 20 deep, bickering and arguing and fighting on a block for what? What like are y'all gang members? Drug dealers? Like what's happening out here? But this is why I try to tell people before that the exact same things that people want to look at young black men and black men in general for, slowly but surely you see young black women and black women in general going directly towards that exact same avenue of moving dangerously in life, of costing life, taking life, robbing life, murdering life. But like I said, nobody wants to be fixated on that. And I'll have comments come directly through on a multitude of videos that I've recently uploaded. And people try to sit up there and tell me, but why don't you talk about the black men and the stuff that they sit up there and do? Black men are the worst danger to the community that we've ever seen before. Don't you know the rates of the crimes and everything that is taking place? You are body blocking and condoning all of the violence that these black men do to young black girls, young black women, and black women in general in the black community. You are just as much as part of the problem as the black men committing those acts. Okay, like I said, we're going to be going to hell together then. That's what we're going to be doing. That is what we're going to be doing. Kid you not, some diabolical work directly out here. People think it's a game. People think it's a game directly out here. It's not. It is. It is not. So now we're going to go to the next two stories, and these are video wise. So we're going to take a listen directly at these.
To find Kenyatta Hayes thanks to her mom turning her in after seeing her daughter on the news being wanted in connection with a death near Cherokee Park.
Ms. Hayes, you are charged with first-degree murder, carrying either a life sentence or death penalty possibly.
Kenyatta Hayes is dressed in orange as she appears in front of Judge Ronald Lucchese. According to the police affidavit, this started Monday. Memphis police responded to a shooting near Cherokee Park where they found a man dead. Investigators released this video to the media, asking for public tips to identify this woman who was running away from the scene. Police say the next day, Hayes' mom, Shantae Jones, told them she saw her daughter on the news as a person of interest in a homicide. We went to Miss Jones's house to see why she turned her daughter in. According to court records, Kenyatta Hayes told police she met the victim at a Marathon gas station and agreed to be with him for $60. However, according to Hayes, she never planned on keeping her end of the bargain. Instead, she was going to hit a lick, a common term for robbery. When asked why she killed the victim, she told police she was thirsty for money. According to the affidavit, she used the $60 to get 2 hot wing combos for her and her boyfriend and had $13 left. Now she has to figure out how she's going to pay her bond and an attorney.
Until bond is set today, they're not going to hire you a lawyer?
Was posted for the first arrest in the deadly shooting.
Right. It's not even funny, but I'm sorry. So let me just paraphrase this. I'm not laughing at the fact of somebody losing their life. I'm just dealing with the thought process, right? So let's get this straight. So this young YN, this female YN that we have at this moment in time, decided that she wanted to perform a sting operation, right? So she positioned herself as if she was a prostitute to ensnare an older guy. Right? Once the deal was said and the transaction happened, she was like, yeah, you know what? About that, bruh. You know, I really wasn't about that life. Bow, bow. And she took his life, so she had a gun in that purse the whole time? When she was hop skipping, hold on, let me pull that back. Where's that footage at? Where's that footage? So in this clip right here, where she's hop skipping across the street. So somewhere on her person, maybe more than likely that little big purse that she got, she had a weapon directly on her, and she proceeded to take this dude's life over $60, saying that she needed a lick because you were so broke and destitute because both of you niggas are bums. This is what I be talking about right here. So for the bitches out here and for the niggas out here, this is the area that y'all belong directly in. Both of y'all are motherfucking bums, motherfucking demons, chaotic, full of drama, motherfucking worthless to the black community. This is what I'm talking about. So one bum as a female decided she wanted to fake being a prostitute and steal $60 off of somebody, right? For basically a 2-piece and a biscuit. And then you only have $13 left. So I guess you're going to try to set up another thing. And you did all of that to take the money back to your bum ass boyfriend so y'all can sit up there and eat. So you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to sit up there and shop. And you more than likely sit up there and got kids. She has the face of a criminal. I'm just going to be real. She does not look like somebody that was going to be walking through college doors. She don't look like anybody that's going to be really trying to big up her life or do anything well. She has the face of somebody that's like, yeah, I'm going to sit here and be, messing with like a whole bunch of like fuck dudes and, have like 4 to 5 kids and probably be the worst mother known to man with a violent streak. And every guy that I mess with is going to be violent, have priors. That's the face that she got. That is clear cut. This is what bums look like. And I'm talking about specifically for the niggas and the niggettes. I'm talking about for the black men out there and for the black women. This is what bum behavior is on both parties, because both of them are bums. They both actually need to be thrown. I actually, realistically, because she did it, I'm going to go to the extent what people would normally say. I'm like, if there's a man, if there's a black man connected to the situation, he probably put her up to it. He probably throw his ass directly in prison too for murder, being an accessory. Because after she sat up there and robbed that man and took his life and bought that food, if he even asked for that food and ate that food, he is an accessory to that crime. Lock his dumb ass up too. Get them both off the streets. They don't need to be here. They don't need to be here because all he's going to do is find somebody else that's just as dumb, if not dumber than her, and do the exact same process, but smarter. Old man lost his life over $60 because he saw something young out there. He was like, I'm past my years, past my prime. Let me see what's happening out here for $60. Let me see if I can shake some trees. He shook the wrong tree and a snake fell through. And this snake, you don't have anti-venom to, and it bit you and it killed you. It'd be like that. So I'm just going to say that man was just as fault for his life getting taken as much as the other two people that I listed. Like I said, everybody got a part to sit up there and play directly in this. Especially in this instance, ain't nobody innocent. You shouldn't have took your old 60-year-old ass directly out there looking for a prostitute. Shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have did it. Like I said, I don't know what he should have done. You shouldn't have did that. I think they got this legalized in Nevada or something like that. There's a multitude of places that you could have went. You shouldn't have did that. Now you're not going to be ever able to do that ever again. And now because of your dumb decisions, being a guy, whatever family you got, they don't got you no more. It's crazy how this works. That's diabolical. So hold on. Hold on. So you said, making up situations instead of blaming the system, whatever with you. So anybody who has intelligence in this comment section, let me know what stories did I make up. I need somebody to let me know, where did I fabricate? Again, any of the pictures, any of the photos that are directly in front of everybody here, those are the actual titles to all of those stories. And I stated that these are from different time frames. These are from pretty much all over. But we're dealing with YNs and YN behavior. I clearly stated that. So I'm a little bit confused on how am I supposed to. So this woman set up a man she wanted to be a fake prostitute. So how am I supposed to blame white people for that? Let me know. Let somebody in the comment section tell me, how am I supposed to sit up there and say that the white man, that the government contributed to her making up this idea of trying to ensnare a 60-year-old or whatever this old man's age was for $60 so she could afford a 2-piece and a biscuit? So you mean to tell me that she couldn't do nails? She couldn't do hair? She couldn't do eyelashes? You mean to tell me she couldn't work in somebody's salon? You mean to tell me that she couldn't pick up a broom and sit up there and clean up at a Trader Joe's, a Kmart, Walmart, Circuit City, Best Buy? So you mean to tell me that there was no other avenue of which that she could have got this money, that the only reason that she had to struggle this hard as a black woman was because the white man, because of the government? You got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be. Where are we at right now? Am I in the same reality right now? Am I in the same reality? Did I not just play the video where the news anchor of that exact same city and state went over all of the information? Did we not just sit up there and see this young female YN talking in court directly to a judge? But I'm fabricating stories. I'm fabricating stories now. Wow. Everything. Okay, you got me, guys. You got me. All the stories that I've done over, the last 5 to 6 years, you got me, guys. You finally got me. It's all AI generated. I am actually a white man, and I'm race baiting right now, talking about these black stories, because I'm trying to go off of some per capita argument. 13% of the population does 1,000,000,000,000% of the crime, throughout the world. Look at the rates. Look at this. Look at that. You got to be fucking serious. Oh man, you just. Oh my god. Oh my god. Never in my life. Never in my life. Never in my life have I seen such stupidity roll up to the scene. Never in my life. So somebody said, would you hire her? Hire her for what? I value my life. So what are we talking about? Like, I have what's called discernment. You ever heard black women sit up there and have conversations online where they sit up there and say that more black women need to have discernment when it deals with black men and dealing with certain types of black men? I have discernment. I would never in my life sit up there and deal with a woman that looks like this. Do you not see the aggression on her face? Do you not see how angry she? No. There's a lot of other black women out here who don't have this face, who don't have this type of anger, who don't have this type of rage, who don't look like that they're going to sit up there and just randomly take my life or set me up or whatnot or whatever. There are plethora of other black women directly out here. She would not be one of them. That's called discernment. That's called actually having a choice. That's called paying attention. That's called reading the fucking room. Why on God's green earth would I put myself in the same room with a person that looks like this, that look like she don't care about shit? I'll never sit up there and do that. Now, mind you, there's other black women that are beautiful, that are well kept, that are educated, entrepreneurs, and all this other. Those are black women to sit up there and be around. Those are black women to sit up there and hire, to want to learn something directly from, share information directly with. This is not it. That ain't it. That is not it. Let me see. Somebody said, what's a YN? A YN basically stands for young Negro, for lack of a better word, young Negro. That's basically what YN is, right? You can paraphrase that and write, whatever it is that you want to, write directly in there. But that's pretty much what it means. Home Slice said maybe in the 50s or the 60s you could, but I don't think COINTELPRO and Operation anymore. It's different now. This man Leonard said stop respecting. That's some crazy work. James Arnold said clickbait. I guess it'd be like that, man. It's some diabolical work. That is some diabolical work. But like I said before, work speaks for itself. I done did live streams about every group possible, but it'd be like that, Miss Dodger. People still gonna come through and say that I'm racist, though. It'd be like that. I can do live streams like this for 2 to 4 hours or whatnot or whatever. People still say race. Yeah, it'd be like that. I got called a Sambo soldier. I mean, okay. So what next? You gonna call me an Oreo? You gonna call me a Uncle Tom? You gonna call me a sellout? Like what else do you really got? Like I didn't heard it all. Like I'm waiting for something like brand new. Bojangles, like what you got? Like what really do you have? It ain't nothing that you can say or call me right now that I already heard other black people basically call me on here, irregardless of the stories that I talk about. Like I said, whenever I see a lot of black folks doing shit like this, I know you're in your feelings. You're highly emotional, and this is how white people got you. Just to be real, just to be honest, because you're emotional creatures. It's very easy to get you emotionally. So this is why they can sit up there and have people moving to and from and doing this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, we're at the point in time where you got supposedly we're supposed to be having protests about a lot of stuff that's going on, but yet you don't see people really out here protesting. It's like a protest every so and so months. Like people can't even stay with the protests. People can't, like, I remember like protesting, like boycotts. I remember that them bad boys used to be going for like 6 months to like a year, and it would just keep going. up until we felt like doing it. Now it's like every 2 or 3 months, it's the same protest, it's the same boycott. And I'm like, yeah, these corporations are smart. They just know it's like, all right, well, y'all doing this protest, no problem. We're going to do a half off sale, 20% off, 30% off, 75% off. So much for that protest, so much for that boycott. Well, like I said before, I guess I'm the sellout though. It'd be like that. Somebody says, so you prove my point. Nobody gives people a second chance. Huh? I'm a little bit confused. So you mean to tell me after she done already took somebody's life, you're like, yeah, automatically second. Hey, look here. If you want to be the person to sit up there and give that young female YN a second chance, go have at it. Have at it. That's diabolical work. That's some diabolical work. Somebody said that's a small majority that acts like that act like this. Most black women have jobs. Who said that black women didn't have jobs? I'm not sure. If people are actually making a response to other people in the comment section, I need you to actually hit the @ button and @ whoever it is. Because if I happen to run past and see the comment, I'm automatically going to be like, okay, so you talking to me then. So I'm going to automatically give a response. And in a lot of instances, people ain't going to like my response. But I'm just saying, like, who said, where did I specifically state that black women didn't have jobs? I'm a little bit confused on like when people want to start throwing in like capes and they want to start like defending people as if people really need defending at this moment in time. This is the most balanced I can, in a sense, give you when it deals with a lot of these crimes going on. Because if I want to sit up there and really start doing this, it's going to be horribly unbalanced to one side. But I'm going to leave that for a whole nother spot. But all I'm saying is, who sat up there and said that black women all act like this? Who said that? Who are you responding to? Because for damn sure it can't be me. Because I'm going to need you to go back verbatim to tell me and show me where did I sit up there and say that? Because I'm like, that's some crazy work. Somebody said, hire her to protect the property. Nah. Let me see. Got Leonard up there. Somebody said security guard, hire it. Somebody said cowardly move. Yep. Somebody said walk into a post office. It looks like you fell into. Oh, that's diabolical work. It seems like somebody's trying to be racist. No problem. Got you out of here. Chanel Time said because women has the right to be angry, and you can't tell a black woman how to look or feel. If they want to be angry, the world has to deal with them, and they can stay unemployed if you're hiring. What in the blue hell are you even? What are you even talking about at this moment in time? I'm a little bit. What I'm saying is, for a woman to be out here robbing and stealing, there's a lot of opportunities and options, Pell grants, other type of stuff. There's more than enough things out here for women to get into and to make money from without taking lives. Nobody can tell me different. I get, like I said, you got dudes out here that just want to be out here, be violent. They want to be out here ripping and running and all this other type of stuff and all this other type of stuff. Rah. Right? Cool. No problem. We get that. Right? When it deals with women, though, you can't give me a specific reason as to why a woman, I'm just going to turn to killing. That's the wave. I'm gonna sit up there and do what black men out here doing. I'm going to be ripping through the streets and robbing folks. What type of weirdo stuff is that? Like I said, it's enough that you got black dudes out here doing this. Why do you want to sit up there and add into that exact same pot? Like, that's some weirdo type of behavior. Like, that seems like you're just trying to be a follower when you actually have options and opportunities to do a lot of stuff. There's even been government funding. So I'm like, that's weird to me, but whatever. It's diabolical. Leonard said, Sample Soldier has some crazy work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that is. It's crazy. That is some diabolical work. But yeah, it'd be like that. Somebody's talking about the elections. I don't even know what that got to do with these stories. Somebody says still waiting on the mothership. Wait, so who's a coward? I'm a little bit confused. Who specifically is a coward? Like I said, I need people to use the app button. It's not that difficult because I'm trying to refrain from just purely just going off. I'm really trying to, because I've had moments where I've started going off on people and then the comment was meant for somebody else and I'm like, you know what, my bad. I need y'all to start using the app button. But I'm just trying to figure out, if you're talking about I'm a coward, I need you to specifically tell me specifically how I'm a coward. Because the craziest part is, when I was talking about black men that were committing these crimes, I didn't see not nearly a mouse really trying to run their mouth. But now all of a sudden, I got superheroes directly in the chat trying to speak up for shit. And I'm like, this is highly weird, because I'm like, niggas don't be speaking up when niggas is doing shit. Y'all ain't trying to body block. Y'all ain't trying to cape. Y'all not trying to find my superhero suit. Y'all ain't trying to say nothing. Y'all just let that shit be. But the moment in time that it starts shifting to make this balanced and start highlighting women committing these crimes, super suits, it's looking like the Batcave in this bitch, where you got generational bat suits and utility belts and Batmobiles and shit. It's like now everybody is a motherfucking Justice League carrying card member. What the fuck are we doing out here? This is how shit still stays prevalent directly in the black community, because motherfuckers want to pick and choose when it is that they want to speak and when it is when they want to sit up there and say stuff. People get offended when you start talking about women, even if you put them in the exact same box as the men committing the exact same crimes. Oh no, we still got to defend the women. We still got to speak highly of the women. We can't be sitting up there down in black women. That's a white supremacist tactic. My brother, do you not understand what the white man has done to subjugate us, and how Plymouth Rock landed on us? We did not land on Plymouth Rock. Do you not understand what the black woman has had to do, and what they have had to face, my brother? There's some crazy work directly out here. That is diabolical. That is 100% diabolical. Motherfucker, like, you should be embarrassed. Man up. Please stop hiding. Huh? He's embarrassed. He won't show his face. I just want you to know, like, yo, shout out to like the gay community. Much love and appreciation to the LGBTQIA plus alpha rainbow edition community. I don't got, there's no hate in my heart. But I don't really swing that rate. So I don't know who this James Arnold is. I need y'all to come get your mans. Because this ain't it. Like I said, I respect people who are gay, who live directly and walk in that truth every single day. This ain't it, brother. I don't know why you weirdos keep trying to talk about, like, oh, show your face. Why do you want to see my face so bad, you weirdo? Like I said, this is what women be talking about directly out here, and it's crazy. Like I said, I've highlighted issues that women have gone through. A lot of y'all dudes out here are some weirdos. For you to want to specifically be like, yo, I need to see this man's face, you're a weirdo. This is why you got a lot of women, when they sit up there and say that they rather choose the bear, you're the main reason why. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Like, dog, go out there, go work out. Go touch some grass. Go figure some stuff out about yourself. Like, dog, this ain't it. Straight weirdos out here. And you just keep repeating, like, realistically, I could just ban you. I really could. I'm skipping through a lot of comments because I want to show people the fixation that a lot of these people basically have, which is weird. Like, it don't even make no sense. It don't even make no, like I said, this is why a lot of women think that a lot of men out here are weird, because y'all motherfuckers be acting like this. You're on a guy's platform asking him, begging him, pleading to him to show his face. I know you're white. Lord have mercy. They got websites for you. If you're looking if you're looking for that black fixed, you want to get blacks, this is not the avenue for you. There are websites for that. You need to go directly over there. You need to go to Grinder, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do to get your back blown out, black back blown straight. Go directly over there. Do not come over here. Like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation to the LGBT QIA plus Alpha Rainbow Edition generation. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, no hate in my heart, but this ain't it. This ain't it. We don't do that over here. We do not do that over here. We swing straight. We don't curve. We go one direction. Shout out to the group. I'm just saying. That's some crazy work out here, man. I'm probably messing up these. I'm hoping I'm not messing up my headphones. Hopefully, them bad boys still work. But yeah, that's some wild work out here, man. That is some diabolical work. Diabolical work. But it's crazy that people got we get it. You're a part of we get it. You're a part of the community. Now you're up here talking about my balls. Like, what is wrong with you? You are a straight weirdo. I know you're white. You are a straight weirdo, dog. Go find you a website somewhere that you can dress up like as a dog and get you a trainer that can pretend to be Ash Ketchum while you sitting up there doing tricks and whatnot in front of like other men in a tight latex suit or some shit. Go find your place. Go be free and great in your lavender. Like, this is not it. This is 1000% just not it. Like, you're just being like a straight weirdo. Like I said, for the other white guys out there, like, dog, we get it. Y'all got an infatuation with black men ever since like slavery, just like white women got. This ain't it. This ain't it. This it's not it over here. You might be able to do that with some of those black conservatives behind closed doors, and you might be able to do that with some other folks directly out there on the interwebs. This is not it. This is not it. Y'all need to get yourselves directly together. This is not the delectable Negro area. This is not it. We're not doing that here. Let me tell you that. We are not doing that here. Like I said, get yourselves together. Like I said, this is why y'all losing that power grip that y'all didn't had, directly on this world in this country for so long. Because y'all can't even get yourselves together, dog. That's wild. Begging and pleading to sit up there and see a man's face. Like, bro, what? Straight weirdos. White people, come get your guy. Come get your guy. Who is this? This James Arnold? Somebody come get their guy. Matter of fact, he probably actually has a whole family in a white picket fence and a great paying job. But he's up here trying to see a black man. That's some wild work. Who is your wife, sir? Who is your wife? Where's your job located? People need to know. Because this is wild. This is some diabolical work. I ain't never seen no stuff like this in my life, son. Like I said, not had some people up here that are part of the community and pull up to the scene, but they don't act like this. Get yourself together. Anyways, let's go to the next video.
Shooting at a Rock Hill block party. Officers arrested this man, 19-year-old DeMarkion Clyburn, in Lancaster County today. He's accused of killing 44-year-old Montest Mincy. A GoFundMe for Mincy says that she was a mother of 3 children. 21-year-old Marcus Kirk also died after that shooting on Southland Drive.
So let me just replay that because it's a little bit short. It's like 30 seconds. Let me just roll that back real quick.
Was posted for the first arrest in the deadly shooting at a Rock Hill block party. Officers arrested this man, 19-year-old DeMarkion Clyburn, in Lancaster County today. He's accused of killing 44-year-old Montest Mincy. A GoFundMe for Mincy says that she was a mother of 3 children. 21-year-old Marcus Kirk also died after that shooting on Southland Drive.
Crazy work. Diabolical in nature. Another more YN behavior. Decided to go to a party and take the life of a woman. Huh. Why am I shocked? Why am I surprised? Had a young life ahead of him. And now it's crashed and burned because he decided to try to get a little bit too close to the sun. Didn't realize that his wings were going to melt or burn up. Look at that. thought he was better, thought he knew, thought he could escape. But like I said, this is what the street life basically entails. If you don't live long enough to die by it, you'll live long enough to serve a sentence for it. That's exactly what the street life will sit up there and get you. And pretty much that's the exact same thing that I'm talking about at this moment in time when it deals with these instances. That in all of the stories that I've highlighted, when it's dealt with both men and women, people want to sit up there and die by the streets and live by the streets. And that's crazy. You want to be in this perpetual cycle of violence and chaos. And then when I specifically state, from my point of view of being a statistic, growing up, born and raised in Detroit, and technically I loved my block, but over time, the block really wasn't the same. Right, houses started getting like bulldozed. You had a lot of vacant lots directly up there. Instead of it just being a few, it started to become several. Houses ended up being like condemned because they were abandoned, either because of water damage or potentially even fires, such as like arson or copper thieves and things of that nature. So a lot of the homes that I've grown up around, and I knew the elders that lived there, because like shout out to an RIP to Miss Mac Evans. Miss Mac Evans was one of the teachers that, in a sense, like raised, like my mom and her sister, right? She was their teacher for, I think, both my mom and her sisters or aunts. And it's crazy. And I never, if I ever go back to drawing, I could draw a face of Miss Mac Evans. And I remember always seeing her across the street. And I would always ask, could I go to, across the street to see, Miss Mac Evans? Or sometimes, like, if she was outside, I would just run across the street. Right? She was like, oh, like, look both ways, make sure no cars are coming. And then she was like, okay, come over. And then she would, depending on the age, she would take me, by my hand once I reach, the curb, and we'll walk over to, her yard and, start doing like the flowers. I would help her like water. I would help her, plan and bring stuff out and, and different things of that nature. And now all of that stuff is just memories. Right, all of that generation of love, of caring, of nurturing, all of that stuff is gone. It's burnt down. It's ashes, never to be seen, um, ever again. Right. So now, when I happen to go back to that old neighborhood and I look at it, it's sad because none of that love and none of that caring is basically there. It's gone for a variety of reasons. And it's crazy that me as a black man, when I happen to talk about a lot of things going on in the black community, people want to try to crucify you. They want to try to make you the biggest villain directly out of here. Oh, you're a coon, you're a Sambo, you're Uncle Tom, you're this, you're that, you're a white supremacist, da 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 da, and all this other type of stuff. You're what's the other thing that people call me? Oh, you're an agent, an Oreo, and all this other type of stuff. But it's like none of those people actually come through and speak about what is going on. They get mad at people for highlighting it, but they don't want to, actually delve deep directly into it and try to come together directly for a solution. Even though a lot of the times I talk about these stories, I have come through with solutions. Even when it dealt with black men committing crimes, I'm like, yo, why don't you the money that you sitting up there getting, or however it's basically working. Again, I'm not agreeing with negative behavior, but I'm like, yo, why not make this your last one and take that money and go out there and get an education? And I ain't talking about going to college. I'm talking about going to some adult program or going to a trade school, putting down a few hundred. Matter of fact, let me just look at something real quick. Let me just see some real quick. All right. So they said at this moment in time, well, this is just a general type of thing. They said trade schools cost trade school costs vary widely, typically ranging from around 3,800, right, which is pretty affordable, to 15,600 per year, which technically is still pretty affordable. But some programs can be as low as a few $100s or exceed this range depending on factors like the institution, program length, and field of study. For profit, private schools are generally more expensive, while public institutions like community colleges and state-funded schools tend to be more affordable. Total program costs can range from just a few $1,000s to 33,000 or more, right? So let me just put that directly up there, right? Because a lot of people up there are talking, oh, you don't, you never come through with solutions, and you never do this, and all this other type of shit, right? So let me just lock this directly in so people can see. I actually got to take something down real quick. All right, let me do that to put this directly up. All right, so technically for me, that's a solution. That's one of the easiest solutions, and I'm pretty sure, depending on the state, it's a hell of a lot cheaper as well too. Like, let's say if it's like down south somewhere, if they got trade schools, I'm pretty sure it's a lot cheaper when it deals with those things versus it being, like up north and different things of that nature. But what I'm saying is, you can start low in a trade and then you can work your way up. Like I said, you can go back. Like I said, it's not in a stint like college where you got to pay like 33 grand like a year. This is like your one-time thing that you're in a sense doing for this. Now, again, there may be a caveat somewhere in there where one of the classes might go for like a year and a half or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying this is relatively affordable compared to the amount of money that people normally sit up there and spend on garbage, on trash, on liquor, on weed, on clothes, on food, on going to parties, on going to clubs, on sitting up there taking motherfucking trips that they don't need to sit up there and take trips on. This is way more affordable and way more attainable. But when you happen to list a lot of these things, you have a lot of people that will pull up to the scene and they'll be like, well, Will said, everybody can't sit up there and afford that much money. I promise you, at one point or another, on the lowest end, which is a few $100s, I promise you that some people out here have had a few $100s within a span of 10 years. I promise you, some people have had a few $100s within a few years. I promise you, some people done had 3,800. So it's like, I'm tired of hearing people like excuses on why it is that they can't do this and can't do that. Just get out there and actually do it. Go out there and actually try it instead of being stagnant, staying in the exact same place. And then the other thing that people want to bring up, well, did you go to a trade school? Did you do any of the things that people are talking about? No, I didn't. Because I didn't specifically have to or have a need to at this moment in time. So no, because you know what I sat up there and did? Like I always mentioned to y'all before, I had worked at Whole Foods. That was a job that was set up there holding down for quite some time. So no, I didn't need to sit up there and do that. I'm talking about other people that are in quote unquote dire constraints. But your constraints are so dire, but yet you still find a way to get some liquor. You still get some food. You still buying some expensive clothes, some $1,200 jeans, $500 shirt. You still sitting up there trying to roll out with a bust down watch, and you can save up money for trash that devalues as soon as you touch it. But when it deals with the education, people are like, I don't got it. I don't know how I'm going to get that money. That's too difficult to sit up there and do. What about the people who don't got that? Like, man, miss me with all that. Just say that you don't want to do it. I respect people more when they sit up there and tell me that they're just lazy, they're complacent, they're comfortable, and they just don't want to do it. Just say that. Just say that. Don't give me no motherfucking excuses. Because, dog, to be real, back when, let me see, back when I was kind of, let's say, putting me back at like some high school type stuff, cutting grass for like $20 a house. And I'm talking, and again, born and raised in Detroit. Those are my prices. The lowest I would go is I would take $5 off, so it might be like 15, right? Depending. But right, so ranging in between 15 to $20. Sitting up there cutting grass. And then you're doing the exact same thing, shoveling snow or raking leaves around the block, around the area. So you mean to tell me that people can't even do something as simple as that? You telling me that that's hard to do now? Because what? Everybody's out there just shoveling snow now. Everybody wants to try to go out there and get a heart attack and bust a blood vessel trying to strain versus your young ass being directly out there and doing it because you can sit up there. Like I said, miss me with that, man. You got people paying hundreds of dollars for guns that they're not even supposed to be having because they legally can't carry. But you mean to tell me that you don't got hundreds of dollars to sit up there and put your ass through a trade school? And I'm talking about for both the YNs out here. I'm talking about for the black women out here, and I'm talking about for the black men out here. Both YNs. You mean to tell me that you can't come together with that money and do that? That's some crazy work. That's crazy. Miss Griffith. Miss Griffith said that in New York, there are community colleges that are free. That is wild. I didn't even know that. That I did not even know that. That is wild because whenever when I think about New York, I'm like, yo, that's just one of the most expensive places. It's just to try to survive. That's one of the most expensive places. But then you're like, yo, they got some free colleges out. I did not even know that. That is not advertised. Like, I wonder how many people in New York actually know about free colleges, just to be real. Because the moment in time that a lot of people start learning about this, that's when stuff is no longer free. So that's letting me know that a lot of people don't know about it. Because that's usually what tends to happen, especially when it deals with black people getting education. It's like, oh, we got too many flooding in. They're actually getting education. They're becoming nope, gotta cut that off. We gotta start pouring money somewhere else. We gotta fix this drain from 1894. That's that's been back here and whatnot. We gotta fix that water main. Right. So we gotta divert all that money to that free college, to that water main that we don't really, care about, But yeah, that's crazy. That is diabolical. Tippy said he's still talking about these types of blacks. LOS. It's this woman. Yo, what's up, Sham? Sham said there is a huge shortage of construction workers and general construction workers too. Women, we can do jobs like plumbing and general plumbing. You can make good money. That's bars. That is straight bars directly out here. Wait, hold on. What did D Money say? D Money said 20 per yard. What kind of prices are you setting? Hey, my prices were decent. Because you got the lawn care companies that would be charging probably like higher than I am. Like they'll probably try to come through and get you for like 90 or 80. Like at my prime of cutting grass and doing yard work, let me make you understand something, D Money. The way that barbers spend like 30 minutes cutting somebody's hair, making sure that every hair is in alignment, that's the amount of time that I spend on somebody's grass. And then on top of that, I'm putting designs in your grass as well too. So it's like when it's shown during a certain light or when it's shown from a certain angle of the street, you're going to sit up there and see those diamonds basically come across as the car is basically traveling. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm doing. I'm sitting up there, edging up the yard. I got the push broom. I don't got no leaf blower. We're doing straight hard work out here. So we got the raggedy lawnmower. We got the push blower. We got the Lowe's bags, right? We got a busted snow shovel directly up there. I walk to sit up there and get my gas, or I might, during that time frame, might have had somebody, drive me to, pick up the gas in a gas can. And yeah, we do the front yard and the back wall. We do the front yard, backyard. We edge up, get the weeds out of the cracks when it deals with the garage area, the sidewalk, the side of the street, all of that. So yeah, we do work out here. Let me let you know. People wasn't seeing me during that time frame of doing yard work. People was not seeing me, and especially doing shoveling, wasn't nobody seeing me. Waking up at 6 o'clock to be outside at like 6:30 to 7 in the early morning hours to try to like walk miles to start shoveling snow in Detroit. Wasn't nobody seeing me out there. And like I said, I had a standard issue busted down shovel. Wasn't nobody out working me. And I saw teams of 2 trying to do the work that I do. It wasn't happening. And I'm doing this off of having orange juice and 2 bananas. That's it. And I'm out there from like 7, walking around from 7 all the way up until like 12 in the afternoon, 11 to like almost 12 in the afternoon. Wasn't nobody seeing me. And that's a one-man job. Wasn't nobody seeing me in Detroit doing that. Other people got snowblowers. They got tag team editions, heavyweight champions of the world. And people was just sitting up there tired. I'm like, dog, y'all tired from that? I'm like, that's a little sidewalk. Like the amount of work that I had to do at the house that we had, like we had a double driveway. Do you understand how much concrete that is? How much pushing and shoveling? Like you got to really put some mathematics on how it is that you're going to specifically do this without getting tired. And if you can't do that, you just got to sit up there and do with some gusto, some willpower, and some endurance. So, like I said, my training ground was my house, right? And then on top of that, not only do I sit up there and do the driveway, of course, the porch and the sidewalk, but I do the halfway portion that's in front of your house in the street. So when I charge $15 to $20, you're getting work that ain't nobody else out here sitting up there doing with a normal shovel, because people ain't doing that. They're like, man, just give me that 12, just give me that 10, and I'm good. I'll just do like I'll skate by, make some little crack lines so that you can walk through on your sidewalk and all this other type of stuff, and that's it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of lazy people directly out there, and I always wondered how they got paid. And I always wondered, why do people that do the most subpar work are able to like benefit? I'm like, that don't make no sense. I'm like, they should realistically be turned away. I'm like, for that amount of money, I can still technically give you the exact same work. I might do it at a little bit of slower pace, but you would still get some nice work. Like I said, I don't know. I don't like people doing subpar work. And I especially when stuff that I know that I can do, I don't like seeing dudes. I don't like seeing men out here being lazy, acting like they can't do something. Like, that's crazy to me. Like I said, the reason why hard work or physical labor is a blessing and it's good, it lets you know that you're still alive, because you can only feel pain when you're alive. You ain't feeling that when you're dead. So like I said, be happy that you can still feel pain. Be happy that you can still feel your muscles and your legs and your joints and all of this stuff, sitting up there moving around, because that lets you know that you're still alive. The moment in time that you really sleep, the only time that you really sleep is when you're dead. The only time when you can't feel pain is when you're dead. So like I said, revel in the fact that you can feel and experience all of this stuff, because a lot of people can't. So, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, when people talk about like having an elitist mindset or an attitude about certain shit, when it deals with that type of shit, you better not be a man out here sitting up there telling me that you lazy when it deals with like physical labor, when it deals with like cutting grass, when it deals with like motherfucking shoveling and shit. Like, I get it. If you got like some health problems, I get that. Like that's cool. Understandable. If you're a grown ass man out here with no health problems, you better sit up there and get your big ass out there and start cutting some grass and start motherfucking shoveling. Like, dog, you shouldn't be paying nobody to do shit. You should be motherfucking doing that shit yourself. I'm just gonna be real. Just saying. Yo, Third Eye, what is up? What is up? What is up? You said I don't know it. I don't know if they still do this still, but years ago, employment agencies would fund your way through some job training like OTR and truck driving school. That's pretty dope. That is actually pretty dope. Sham said, when I was a kid, I did volunteer work, worked a side hustle shoveling snow, edge lawns, and mowed lawns. I also worked as a shelf stocker under the table for my local candy store. So you was just living the dream job. You was just sitting up there like, yo, I'm in a candy store. I got like shelves, and then I can sit up there and still get some candy. That's crazy. Timmy said it looks therapeutic and calming. It is. That's the one reason I love like when you can be out shoveling when it just snowed and everything is all white. It's the most quiet, beautiful thing that you can actually see. Like, nothing's moving, nothing's out there. It's just you and fresh air and just the snow. It is like you're the way like it can just clear your mind, or it can just allow you to just focus in and think about stuff when you normally don't have time to. It's beautiful. It's the same thing with cutting grass. And like I said, for me, I was my hardest critic. If I felt that, especially when I did it in my own house, if I felt like this was like subpar, all right, cool. I'm going to have to just like redo this. I'm going to have to, set the lawnmower down a level or two. And I'm going to just have to like cut this down again to start fresh, because I don't like the way that line looks. I don't like that edge up or whatnot or whatever. Like I said before, man, people wasn't seeing me. They was not doing that. They wasn't doing that same work. And I could tell they wasn't doing it. D Money said, I charge at least 40 to 50, but I do live in rural Louisiana. Every yard was a big yard. Yeah, so you could charge, bigger directly out there, right? When it deals with, yard work. Detroit. It's, it's not, my yard in comparison, because the house is on like two lots. So it's a little bit different. from a lot of other people's. Like we had one of the largest yards on the block. Like when it dealt with yards. So the front yard and the backyard. One of the largest, yards there. So when the grass was cut, you saw it. That was the highlight when you rolled up on that block. And my house is basically second from the corner. So you were seeing that from the end of the street. Like if you were going through the main streets there, you were seeing that pulling up, going to or from or turning the corner. You were seeing that house directly there. And I would literally see people slow roll and start looking at the yard. And my grandmother, during the time that she was here, she would get compliments. She was like, "Yo, your yard, your grass looks beautiful." Like, "Yo, who does your yard? Because I would love for them to do my yard." She was like, "Oh, my grandson does it." So, like I said before, it's like, yo, shout out to my grandmother for letting me do that work to get a lot of that conditioning and training. Like I said, everything starts at home. Everything starts at home. Um, what was it? Gail said, Gail stupid said he has been furious all day. So Seji has been furious today. We got J Lock in the building. Said Seji, I donated to you early. Wait, you did? Oh, snap, my bad, brother. My bad. Much love to J Lock. You said can you react to Steven Crowder's barbershop talk? Wait, Steven Crowder. Who was that? Steven Crowder. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. All right, now I gotta sit up there and look this up real quick. Let me go to here. It's gonna take me a minute because now I gotta listen to it real quick. Hold on, let me get you. Let me see this. Hold on. Now I gotta get where my headphones go, brother. What? Okay, there we go. I'm really not trying to hear this black conservative dude talk, but hold on, let me see something. So hold on. So he's talking about the let me go to a longer clip. Okay. That's uh, Lord have mercy. I don't even know who this black Republican dude is. Because I get tired of seeing him 9 times out of 10. So Steven Crowder had a conversation in the barbershop and they were going over quite a few things. This one individual, I don't know who he is, wanted to say that Steven Crowder sat down with a bunch of emotional black men in the barbershop where they sat, made excuses, complained about white people, and blamed everything on everyone else other than themselves. White guilt is dying. I guess that was supposed to be in this country, and black fatigue is growing every day. Everybody who uses black fatigue, you do know that a black woman came up with that and wrote a book. That's the only reason that's the real reason that terminology realistically exists. But it's crazy how Republicans, conservatives, will take something and then they'll decide it to basically carry it and make it as if, ah, yeah, we created, ah, yeah, black fatigue, ah. But I'm like, nobody actually looked up what black fatigue actually is. Nobody actually looked up the book, even read like a synopsis or. All right. He says sitting back and telling these black men make endless excuses and failing to take accountability is embarrassing and depressing. Black people need to understand that everyone in this country is tired and no one is going to come and save us and help us out if we don't fix it ourselves. Like I said, I don't know who this dude is. And 9 times out of 10, when it deals with a lot of these black conservatives out here, that's not a term that they normally like to use, which is we, which is our selves. That's not normally terms. It's not normally terms. Um, like I said, so the main thing that one of the guys in the black shirt was saying, he was like, yo, so when it deals with all of this white rage, right? When it deals with all of these things with the school shootings and this, that, and the third, it's like, who do we complain to? Who do we, go to and say something, directly about? And Stephen was like, well, we hear about, this stuff, all the time and yada yada yada, and the racism, systematic oppression, and rah rah rah, and all this other. I'm like, you're not looking at the history and the totality. Because the craziest part is when it deals with white people, is that when you speak to white people, they interpret it as you're talking at them. When realistically you're trying to have a conversation. And that's only due to the fact that they are in a defensive mode. As soon as anything dealing with race, white people are automatically defensive. Automatically. You're just ducking and dodging. It's like they got ultra UI on at this moment in time, ducking and dodging. And they're just waiting for that one moment to sit up there and hit you with some, per capita, the crime, the murder rate, this, that, the blacks. And it's like, again, they're not there to actually have like a full on conversation. He wanted to say, well, it's like, because, white people are so tired of, all of this being blamed and whatnot. This is why, none of them really want to sit down and really have this conversation. And to make it seem like he's better than the rest and he's willing to give time and energy, you didn't have to. If you were going to sit up there and like realistically say that and try to frame it, you could have just stayed directly out of the conversation. Somebody else could have, took up the mantle directly on that if they wanted to. Like I said, a lot of white folks are more comfortable now to put into a different perspective. You will have white folks, maybe they're not comfortable going to that barbershop and talking and being amongst black men because they've been automatically indoctrinated to think that anytime a black man is around them, that black men are going to kill them. That's their indoctrination. But they're comfortable with having these conversations online. And technically, realistically, I would have rather it actually be online because I want the honesty. I would actually want the honesty. I don't want somebody white to show up on a black type of film, whatnot or whatever, and them to pussyfoot around the whole conversation. I'm not trying to sit up there and hear you talk nice. I want to hear you talk the way that you talk every single day. I want to see what you normally sit up there and think and say about black folks, and we know it ain't nothing positive. So I'm like, bring all that. Don't sit up there and just do all of this other type of sort of kumbaya, but yet I'm going to let you know how white folks really feel about. I don't care about none of that. Like I said, this is why certain conversations are realistically just better online because you'll realistically get the honesty out of people. Tippy said, "I agree. Let's watch it now." Um, Tip, you do know that there's a such thing as copyright, and that be the problem. Um, how could I potentially do this? How could I potentially do this? Let me see. Dear Lord. All right, so we're going to look at this clip, and this is one that he actually posted. Let me see, where's the what's the name here? Like, it's crazy to me to see white folks want to mention some stuff and start talking about balance, and they're not actually about balance at all. That's the thing that's a little bit weird, huh? I gotta get rid of a lot of these stories directly up here. Okay, we did that one, and woman charged with murder. We covered that one as well too. All right, so we're gonna take a look and listen directly to this 1 minute clip directly up there. Yo, what is up, Ricky? What is going on? What is up? What's up? We're going to, let me see where it go. I gotta go back to the screen here. Click back over. All right, so let me pull down. I gotta zoom this actually in. Let me pull down some videos real quick because we're actually done with those two topics. All right, so I got you for J-Lock and Tippy. We got this clip here. Not sure how this is going to work out, but we're going to take a listen directly at this one.
Black fatigue. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
White people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tripping on you. But these people in just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem.
So
white America.
So it spends several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
We're the bird.
No.
We're the bird.
You're not the bird.
Stopping white America from doing anything.
You know what? The bird just
do.
burned down $4 billion worth of cities and 60,000 assaults.
No.
There's 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid, and the white kid does 2 to 3. Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asians than white parents? Why?
You said what?
Well, we're having real talk. Why do young black men fight in packs?
Let me tell y'all something. I got a lot of content creators out here that one part, it's a lot of stuff he said. That one part, he was like, and this is why I try to sit up there and tell people that a lot of these folks, they don't show up here to really have conversations. It's to throw the exact same talking points on how it is that they really feel. You see the face that he got. He was like, why do the blacks fight in groups? You know how many videos that I've watched over the years, including on World Star Hip Hop, where I've seen white boys fight in groups. Like, originally, because of how everything is framed, I originally grew up, I'm like, yeah, white boys, it's normally like a one-on-one type of thing. They don't really, do groups, and, brothers ain't out there fighting and fathers and all this. Dog, I done seen tons of groupings of white boys in colleges, white boys a part of fraternities, white boys in packs going to football games, soccer games, white boys at hockey, white boys at stadiums, white boys in suits. Color me surprised when I saw a group of white boys in suits. I'm talking about like, yo, you got the nice shoes, you got the slacks, you got the nice white shirt, and out there fighting directly in the dirt. Every white shirt was turning brown. And I'm like, when did the whites start doing that? I'm like, that's weird. I thought y'all said only the black folks do that. I thought only blacks sit up there and fight like this. Right? Because everybody else, they know how to talk their situations out. They know how to speak to one another as a human being. But, again, as I've been on social media, it seems as though how it is that people want to frame things and bring things up, it seems as though that things are not matching up. It seems as though a lot of things out here are not matching up with the way in which people want to frame it to be. And now you got a lot of white folks out here, they don't know specifically how to deal with that truth being set free, Pandora's box being open. They don't know how to calculate that. They don't know how to regulate that. Because the way that they've already had people indoctrinated and taught has been so long substantiated that they didn't, we pretty much got this in like an auto, it's an auto drive or whatnot, whatever. So it's whatever it is. Now, when other information gets thrown out there and it's not AI generated, it's not Chat GPT, it's not something from like a movie scene. These are actual real world white people from all over the United States of varying socioeconomic classes going out there, and they're fighting directly in groups. They're going out there and they're being violent amongst themselves. Like, it's crazy to me to hear white folks sitting up there talking about, well, the reason that, white people, they're really fearful, going on trains or buses when they see you guys. Huh? Then in that exact same vein, every single black person should be afraid to go to a mall or a church because y'all tend to shoot stuff up. I don't want to sit up there and go to a country concert because some white boy is going to get mad about something. It could be his girlfriend or something that happened with his parents 12 years ago, or him sitting up there losing his job, and he can sit up there and shoot up some stuff. Matter of fact, I don't want to sit up there and go to any government building because you can have somebody like Timothy McVeigh. Like what? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's crazy how they'll pull up to the scene and act like they really want to have this conversation, but they really don't want to have that conversation. And then on top of that, it's crazy how you got a lot of these, as I stated before, these black conservatives that want to pull up to the scene whenever, and they live off of this shit. Whenever those videos show where they got a white dude sitting up there with oh yeah, he's speaking facts, he's telling the blacks the truth, and they just can't handle it. They're overly emotional and this, that, and the third, and rah, 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 rah. They live off of that shit. And they make sure to report on that. They make sure to always have responses to it. They make sure to always agree directly with it. And those are the same ones that will sit up there and agree with any and everything that the police does to the black community. Every single time. And those are the main ones, because I've looked at some of the content that, they've had posted. And those are the exact same ones that make sure to report solely on any and everything that has to do with black people in a negative light. Now, at least here, when I happen to sit up there and bring up some stuff, I'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll sit up there and show you that there are different tiers, different levels directly amongst the demographic. I'm not about to sit up there and just solely be like, yeah, every single 100% of black people out here are just YNs. 100% of black people out here are just murderers, are just robbers and killers. No, I'm not about to sit up there and do that. Like I said, I believe in a balance. A lot of folks out here don't really, in a sense, believe in a balance because they can't sell balance. Because if you decide to sell balance, it's not gonna really net you anything. It's not gonna do anything for you. Trust me, I know, because I've done this throughout the years. And when I sit up there and do a back and forth video or have both videos in the exact same thing, the responses to those videos are little to none. Timmy said, okay, let's watch it on Twitch. Timmy said, wait, how about we play the video and you watch it here? You don't have to show it. Just listen, don't show the video. We can just listen to it. Tippy said, fight in packs, and we just saw a group of white boys attacking a single black guy. Oh, you talking about, I think that was like that video like down south or whatever it was. Yeah, like I said, I done seen a lot of videos directly out here of white folks out there just savagely fighting. Like I said, I got videos of white families just sitting up there fighting on a block. I'm like, what do y'all have? Y'all white? What do you actually have to fight over? Like, that doesn't make any, like, that's how crazy this whole situation is. And also, I could actually make, hours long videos of white folks, families, and everything sitting up there fighting. I could literally do that. And I'm talking about, I can also, just like I showcased to y'all before, I showed videos of white folks fighting the police. I'm talking about with knives, guns. They got a full-on superhero. So they got everything possible to where the cop could be like, yo, I'm in fear of my life. And everybody's just wrestling. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, now let me sit up there and try to wrestle it. Bye-bye. Before I even think about it, I'm already at the morgue. It's like, it's crazy. It is crazy how that works. But like I said, you got a lot of folks out here that really ain't trying to have a real conversation. And that last comment that he made there, he was like, why do blacks fight in groups? That's some crazy work. So, like I said before, never at a moment in time have I've been cautious of people, yes. It's completely cool. Everybody should be cautious of everybody. But never at a point in time did I sit up there and automatically see somebody else black in Detroit. I'm like, yo, I'm in fear of my life. I don't know what's going to sit there and happen here. It's like, nah, you just sit up there and just keep moving or whatnot or whatever. like to sit up there and say that, oh yeah, white people are just automatically afraid. Wherever black people are, the whites are always afraid. Huh? We should be more afraid of those who have consistently always been at war with everybody, and that's not black Americans. And I'm talking about both statistically speaking and historically speaking. Like I said, if I'm realistically to be afraid of anybody, I should technically be afraid of white folks. Y'all always warring with somebody, dropping bombs on somebody, spending hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars directly to drop bombs and whatnot on schools and churches and all this other type of stuff, to always be in this consistent perpetual war with somebody, always sticking your nose in other people's business. Like I said, it's crazy though, but it'd be like that though. It'd be like that. And like I said, the balance for me where it comes into a lot of situations is what I said before. And like I said, this is me speaking as a black man, and this is stuff that I've done. Right. So at least going out there making money, legal route to sit up there and do it. You don't need to be sitting up there going out there like, yeah, I'm about to sit up there and formulate a plan to, rip and run through the streets and all this other type of stuff. But also within the same vein of saying that, I do have an understanding and I can acknowledge the fact of the history of the United States when it deals with racism, when it deals with even, matter of fact, I'll go to just the basis of dealing with clean water. Like I said, there's a story that I brought up to you guys a few months ago that dealt with black communities down south that are bringing up the issue of the historical racism that has taken place, where specifically the white government that was over the black areas specifically gave them polluted runoff water to those black communities. They gave polluted runoff water from factories to the black areas that had all types of carcinogens that could cause cancer and all other types of health problems, while the white communities were given pure, clean, fresh water. But when you have somebody like a Steven Crowder, whatever this dude's name is, when you have somebody like him, there's a lot of issues that they're not going to sit up there and touch. Or if they do say something, they'll be like, oh, well, that was bad. But over to these next 20 points. They'll wash over that real quick as if it doesn't have a causation, if it's not going to lead to something, as if it's not going to be a part of a bigger problem. Because like I said before, if you literally had a government, and we can show you that, hey, the government was working on getting rid of a lot of our elders in the black community by way of poisoning, making sure that our population does not grow and stay stagnant, by way of giving us polluted waters and different things of that way in order to negate the population growth, that's going to have a detrimental effect over time of the amount of people that we would actually have that are raised by said groups of folks from yesteryear. And again, all of the morals and all those things would have been carried from those groups to today, versus having kids, in a sense, raising kids. Like I said, there are two sides to stories directly here. There was a part that people can be accountable for, and there's another part of which that is completely 100% outside of their control. But like I said, when you bring these things directly up, people want to be up in arms, right? But if you decide to sit up there and say, oh yeah, 1,000% of every single thing that's ever happened in America is black people, it's only been black people's fault. Every single black conservative Republican would rejoice. They were like, yes, you're right. You're right, blacks. Every single thing that has happened to you that you've done, everything is your fault. It's never the white man's fault. It's not anybody's fault but yours. Everything. And I'm like, really? I'm like, that's what we're doing. But yet, if you got another group of folks directly out here that have the same complaint as black people, and they're pointing out that, they're being specifically targeted, nobody got nothing to say. It's complete silence. Complete silence. Because notice the fact, and I gotta sit up there and take it to another extent. Notice the fact of how a lot of those folks don't have nothing to say about ICE, and how the government is specifically targeting a group of folks. Now, again, I got my issues and I got the things. I've seen all the videos and the live streams where I've gone directly off, and I've said a variety of things. But just for this one point, this is all I'm saying. Other groups of people can specifically tell you that, hey, we're being specifically targeted, and they are. Anybody who is Hispanic, anybody who speaks Spanish. Like, I've gone over the main four things that the government or those out there can use in order to target people in the Latin community. And I'm like, dang, I'm like, that's jacked. I mean, it'd be like that, but it is very jacked up. But they would very much easily have a case to sit up there and say that, yo, America is targeting their people specifically based on their race and or ethnicity or how it is that they speak. And they would 100% have a fight, because the United States wouldn't be able to say, no, we're not. No, actually, you are. But the difference is it's another group of people that don't identify as black. So they would actually be able to go to court, take that to court, and potentially sit up there and win. Maybe, 10, 15, 20 years, somewhere down the line, that'll be their form of reparations or however it is that they decide to do it. Chances are, like I said, there's a lot of evidence, a lot of information out there. They're going to sit up there and win at any moment in time later on during the future, after this administration and a few others pass. I'm going to tell you, just like you used to see those mesothelioma, type of lawsuits, you're going to see that for the Hispanic community. They're going to sit up there, if you're Hispanic, speak Spanish, bilingual, if you've ever been targeted by ICE or police because of race-based and this, call this number because you'll be a part of a United States class action lawsuit. That is what is going to happen. And Hispanic people out here are going to have their long line, and they're going to be able to get their form of reparations because of what it is that they're able to go through. And they're going to get that from the government because they're not black. Now, mind you, if black people can historically show you that this is what we've gone through and are still going through at this moment in time when it deals with the police, because everything that has happened in slavery just transferred and rebranded itself. So instead of being, directly on plantations, we're in the jails, we're in the prisons, right? And instead of having the overseers, directly overseeing that land or the plantations, cracking the whip and all this other type of stuff, you now evolve directly into police officers. It's the exact same thing. It just, transferred, a little bit differently, but it's the exact same thing, because primarily, who are the main ones that always happen to get caught up when it deals with the law system? Black men, no other group. White men are the main majority directly out here, but black men have about a 53 to 60% of the exonerations directly out here, because new evidence or unearthed evidence has been able to be, published and given directly to brand new eyes to basically tell people that, yeah, this man was innocent. And those out there in these white communities or these white households, these newspapers or who not, whatever, basically lied on this black man. It took 30, 40, whatever years in his life. There was actually a black man, I think, was it New York? No, it was Chicago. There was a black man. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me just see. Let me just bookmark this. Let me see if I can find that video real quick, because I would actually rather show the video. Yep. I'm gonna have to cut that real quick because of the image that is there. So you're gonna have to give me a second. But there was a black man that was just freed. A black man that was just freed, and I think they said that he's going to get basically like $14 million, 14.5. Excuse me, $14.5 million. So give me a second. I gotta do a slight little edit. But yeah, like I said, we got tons of stories. No other grouping on the face of the United States has the exact same. You're not going to sit up there and find white men countlessly having stories. Oh yeah, I was sit up there and locked up for a crime that I was, didn't commit. You're not going to have them with the exact same exoneration rates, because again, the system was not made in order to ensnare them. If they got caught up, Bob, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. But at the end of the day, it was just circumstance. You got caught up in something that, somehow something happened and they needed to lock somebody up, and they didn't match, what the normal suspect would be. And it'd be like that. Because I think I also got another video too of of black cops. I'm sorry, not black cops. I got a video of cops. I think I might have that bookmarked as well. So let me I got to export this real quick. But there's another video out there where a black man was arrested for a murder or a crime that he didn't commit, or I'm sorry, detained. And the suspect that they were looking for was white. And I'm like, how every single time when a suspect that you know of doesn't match what a black man looks like, you seemingly somehow always get your hands directly on a black male. Like I said, so let's just take a look directly at this. Is this it should be the one.
James Gibson versus City of Chicago et al. In the amount of $14,750,000.
Hearing no objections, seeing no hands, so ordered.
Come here, Mama. They couldn't break me. They couldn't break me, Mama.
James Gibson was awarded almost $15 million by the city of Chicago for spending almost 30 years in prison for a double murder he didn't commit. Not only that, but he was tortured for days, he told us, by a Chicago police unit that would end up being tied to more than 100 cases of abuse. This settlement, by the way, is just a fraction of the over $100 million worth of settlements struck by the city of Chicago tied to police misconduct cases just this year. Now, I was with James Gibson at City Hall when he got literally millions of dollars, but he wasn't celebrating in the way you would think. How you feeling, James?
Wow. How do I feel, man? I'm in war. I've been at war. I'm punch drunk. I'm still swinging. I don't know. Is the fight over with or what?
Right from City Hall, we went to his mom's old house. She was his rock.
She told me I was coming home, and I believe that. She told... And I'm still mad, too.
But she wouldn't live to see that happen. She died a little more than a decade into his sentence.
I say every time I get a blessing, it rains. It'd be my mama.
And even with this latest blessing, almost $15 million, the money can't replace time.
It feel bittersweet, man. I'm a warrior, man. I've been fighting all my life. I always appreciate everything. I never take nothing for granted.
So we heard that, right? Right? That black man right there, because of the system that is set up to go against black men to ensnare them, because one way or another, they will always have slavery. They locked this man up for crimes that he never committed. But tell that to white people, they'll be like, well, he may not have committed those crimes, but I'm pretty sure he committed crimes somewhere, or he was going to commit something. So, he was locked up. Like I said, you got people out here that can't even admit when things are just wrong. There are tons of black men that have these stories. This man, the main woman that loved him, that supported him when nobody else would, she's gone. He has nothing. He's out there by himself. And now he has money that he could have used to, in a sense, be like, yo, mom, I'm home. I can, I can, try to make up for lost time. I can get you to, some things that you always wanted. We can sit up there and take some. Nothing. He's by himself. Been locked up for decades. His mom is gone. He didn't probably had to defend himself. He didn't probably had to go through a lot of fights. He didn't had to survive through a lot of things, all because the system that is racist locked him up because they wanted a black body directly in jail and robbed and stole everything from him. And now this dude is basically still fighting because he don't know if it's actually really over or not. Like I said, it's crazy. It's 100% crazy how things like this happen. And, when you tend to bring this up, a lot of those people either make excuses or they don't got nothing to say. And this is why I speak the way that I do when I happen to talk about the black community, because I'm like, you got people, like, you literally have people that are locked up for doing the stuff that they didn't do. But yet we got a whole bunch of other people out here running amok and doing the stuff. They actually doing stuff out here, but they not seeing no type of time. They've been to courts 99 times and they still getting out committing the exact same murders, the exact same crimes. Like I said, don't make sense, but it does make sense. And I'm going to sit up there and tell you how. Somebody like this black man here who could have been like a pillar. He could have potentially helped out young black men, been an entrepreneur, he would have been there taking care of his mom. He could have been beneficial. They took him directly out. But the other black men that are directly out there that they know have a propensity to, have a record, keep doing crimes, or what they're going to keep, the court system is going to keep deliberately putting them back out because they want to make the circumstances worse. They want those repeat offenders to keep being repeat offenders, because if they don't have no more offenders directly out here, number one, how is the court system and the lawyers and the DAs and the judges, how are they going to make money? If you don't got nobody to lock up, if you don't got no court dates to schedule, what's the use for you? What's the use for the DA? What's the use for the court system? What's the use for all of these judges? What's the use for all of these police? What's the use for the exorbitant amount of money that goes directly into these systems? It's not. So then that money's going to be going other places like communities, but they don't want it to go there. And then number two, they're going to re-release these people and back into the community to make the situation worse, so that there is a need directly for the DA, for the judges, for the court systems, for the police, for the EMS, for the hospitals. If you don't got people out here who got a propensity to do these things, that shows that, they are just criminal minded. Like, this is just what they do when they're amongst ordinary regular black folks. This is just what they want to sit up there and do. If you know that, it's like, well, what's good for business is good for business. Let's throw them, right back out there. Let's have them burn down some more houses. Let's have them, rip around through the streets, sell some more drugs, destabilize the black community, destabilize, black families, take away the lives of the youths directly out here, take out more black women. That's what they're going to sit up there and do. Like I said, it's all a plan. Everything is wrapped directly in money, because the more people that those others out there decide to take the lives of and kill, the hospitals, the court systems, and the morgues stand to make the utmost money, along with the insurance companies. Because you are worth more dead than you are alive. Like I said, the jail system and the court system's best asset are the black folks out here who are criminal minded, who want to go out there and commit those murders and those killings, because it's what's good for business. But somebody like a Crowder wouldn't look at that. They're not going to really look at the money and where everything goes. But I'll put it to you like this. If the moment in time that some of those folks out there be like, oh yeah, we do see where the money goes and this is wrong, but that's not just affecting you, it's affecting now they want to all lives the situation, as if we all need to come together because we're all equally being affected, when realistically we're not. Like I said, it's crazy work out here. That's some diabolical work. He said, why did the want to do things which... See, this is the problem that I got with a lot of y'all folks directly out here. And this is what I've commonly stated before. Y'all still stuck on, because I got some black folks out there too. Y'all still stuck on like this whole lefty, righty, loosey tighty, type of thing. And I'm like, you do realize, I want you to realize, because chances are, what is this, Keith Williams? Chances are you are greater chance of 50-50. Chances are that you're Caucasian. The thing that you're not actually looking at is the fact that you are poor to a realer extent. You're poor, because we're getting to the point where there's no longer going to be a middle class. So you are going to be considered poor, just like me. We're all going to be considered poor, right? All lives matter to situation. But the craziest part is, you got a lot of folks out there that think that their side is better. So in a sense, they got a leg up. It's like, well, I'm with the right, and the right is always right. It's the left that's always wrong, and this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. I'm like, dog, at the end of the day, both parties don't actually care about you, especially you white folks. None of these parties care about you at all. Both Democrats and Republicans decided to outsource jobs. How do you think that affected white people and white communities in the suburbs? Both Democrats and Republicans allowed for these bailouts to happen in America during the time that we had the the housing crisis, right? That was like back, what was it, like 08, 08, 09, 10, somewhere in that, during those 3-4 years, right? Yeah, they didn't care about white folks. I remember looking at videos of white people on the sides of the street White people living out of cars. White people was really sitting up there going directly through it. But do you think that any of those parties, left or right, actually cared about y'all? No, because they rich. Like I said, there's a tier system directly up here, and you're not a part of that tier. But like I said, y'all so brainwashed into sitting up there thinking that y'all are different from everybody else because y'all got a little bit of something more that you're blinded. And this is why the exact same people that you worship, which are your own people, the exact same people that you vote directly into office, your people, and the exact same people of which you pay and give money directly to, which is your law enforcement, your military, and your government, are all going to turn directly on you. And it is going to happen. All of the dragons that you have released over these years onto the black community, onto the black towns and cities, onto different areas around the United States, also including the world, all of them are going to return home. In the moment in time that they return home, they are going to do everything that they were trained and set out to do. They are going to turn everything to ash. So, your white communities, your white neighborhoods, all of that is going to be flipped upside down. Everything that you are watching and seeing at this moment in time, it is going to be you, whether you know it or not. So, like I said, it'd be like that though. It 100% be like that. And white folks, you ain't gonna understand it up until you're meant to understand it. And like I said, I'm gonna be right there and I'm gonna report on it the same way that I report on everything else. In the exact same way that y'all never feel sorry for black folks when stuff happen, I am not going to sit up there and shed a tear. I'll be drinking tears, but I'm not going to shed not one. I'll collect them though, because they're precious like diamonds. But I'm not going to sit up there and shed none at all. Because like I said before, what is the use of giving energy to people that lack that exact same energy? It serves no purpose. You're throwing energy into a black hole. And I'm not about to sit up there and do that. I'm not getting caught up in no gravity well. I'm not doing none of that at all. You are going to, try to absorb whatever it is that you can from other sources. I'm not going to be one of them. And for the fools out there that are going to shed tears directly for you, then Godspeed. Godspeed. Because like I said before, some people like to sit up and say fight fire with fire. I believe that you should fight fire with lava. I believe that you should just have like a whole bunch of lava to just smother the flames and to just pull those flames directly in and just carry that directly forward. That's where I'm at. If people set the bar low, I'm going to set that shit directly to hell and below whatever hell is. That's exactly where we're going to sit up there and go. People think I'm playing, but people are going to sit up there and soon enough find out. People are going to understand. Like I said, all I ask for people to do is not sit up there and say nothing stupid. That's all you have to do. Just don't say nothing stupid, and we good. We are good. But the moment of time you want to sit up and say something stupid, I'm going to be right here with you, and we're going to be burning in hell together. Don't think I'm going by myself. Like I said, I don't know nothing about Gog and Moloch and Baphomet and I don't know nothing about them. White people, y'all know about them though. But I mean, I guess that's your friends and your families and the guys that you worship. So I guess we'll be all down there in Thanksgiving. Guess we'll be down there feasting on whatever it is. Because like I said, don't ever sit up there and tell me that I'm about to be by myself in one area unless I specifically put myself there. That's the only way I'll be there. If you're branding and saying that I'm going to be there, oh, by all means, you're going to be right there with me, whether you like it or not. Just letting you know. That man said, "Can you take me higher?" You talking about the Creed video? Holy Gail. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every single time. It's always Gail. Always Gail every single time. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. That is it's pretty much it. Like I said, we are all good. We are all good. Let me see. I thought I had the brother highlighted real quick. I want to say shout out to all of my moderators. Shout out to anybody who pulled up directly to the scene, for this live stream to listen directly in. Technically, again, like I said before, it wasn't even going to be a live stream today, but because people wanted to talk stupid, that's what we did. And the funny part is I almost want to play this last video, but I'm like, I'm not going to sit up there and do it because I'll just let y'all, if people decide to, I'll let people watch the video that I'm going to have posted so that people can see it. But there's going to be another response. There was technically an add-in video. It could have been a 2-part video, but I decided to just separate the videos. But the video that you guys are going to see is going to still deal with I think, what was the old man's video about? I think it was like Memphis or something like that, dealing with the police coming directly in. There is another young black. I'm going to say, yeah, I still say young because like 30s is technically still young, irregardless on what those in their 20s and the teens will sit up there and say. There's a black male that's going to be talking about the police coming in his perspective, as he said that it's time to tell the truth on, how he perceives it, how he's actually viewing, everything that went directly on. And I'm like, I like his perspective, directly on that, because in a lot of instances, people don't want to be honest when certain things take place. And one of the main things that I said in a previous video as well is that at the end of the day, the whole thing of like, all right, so the police, military, whatnot, are coming through, sweeping up the streets. They caught some people, locked them up, and got them off the streets. The main thing that I stated to people is the fact of like, all right, that's putting a band-aid on a very large wound or a very large gash. Like, this needs to be surgical. So what specifically are people going to do in the black community to make sure that this problem, you stave off this problem? And I think I listed quite a few things directly in there. So, people can take it with a grain of salt, if they want to, and look at it how they want to sit up there and look at it. Again, I'll probably get some disagreements or whatnot, whatever. Probably won't be close to the same comments that I received under the video that I showcased to you guys earlier, but like I said, it'd be like that. But yeah, let me know what y'all think directly about that. I'm going to wait to post that video. Let me see. Did he? I don't think he really cussed in the video. Wait, did he? I don't think he did, but we'll just do that because you got to go through certain checks and balances when it deals with a lot of videos and stuff. So I'm actually actively doing that, as I'm talking to you guys right now, because I was supposed to have the video already uploaded, but I hurried up and just started up a live stream so I can have this nice little conversation, because it's been a minute. It's been like a few weeks since I've actually done a live stream here, so it was probably about due for that to take place. But yeah, so that will be sitting directly in the background after everything is said and done. And it is what, 7:06 now. I think I'll give the live stream about like 30 minutes to settle, and I'll probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. I'll have the video posted. I'm talking about today. I'll have that video set and posted. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I will have that scheduled directly for the time so we don't miss. Let me scroll down. Yeah, I'll set it for 8 p.m. Yeah. So yeah, let me know again when that video shows up directly in your feed. If the video does show up in your feed, let me know what y'all think about that video, because I know that a lot of y'all have not been getting notifications, and I can obviously tell by the dramatic fall down of a lot of the views, directly up there. Ruth said, kind of 2 for 3. Yo, Rufus, I don't understand who you specifically talking directly to. But I want you to know that when I have these conversations, this ain't some type of aha, I got you moment. because in the exact same vein as you sitting up there giving these percentages, we need to start looking at the white males directly out there of every single category, no matter what type of class is out there dealing with money gains. It don't matter if it's rich, poor, or middle class. It don't matter if it's a blue collar worker. It don't matter if it's a judge or a lawyer, police officer, EMS worker, nurse, doctor, pediatrician, or the poorest of the poorest hillbilly directly out there. There's a problem amongst white men directly out there when it deals with CP. If you don't know what CP is, you may want to sit up there and look that up. It deals with, in a sense, the family and having types of information directly up there on your devices that you really shouldn't have as a grown adult and things of that nature. It's amazing that it seems though that white males have a propensity for that the overwhelming numbers are white males. Also dealing with bestiality as well too. And again, these are numbers that I went directly over in the previous live stream. So before you want to decide to speak directly on Black Americans, you want to speak on the Black community, you may want to look directly within your community, and you might want to look at the young men there, the older men there, or just the fathers, the brothers, the uncles, and pretty much all of them, because I'm pretty sure they all got something that's hidden, right? Or some things that may actually be out there that y'all allow to be out there. So like I said, make sure to check your own before you decide to pull directly up here. But anyways, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the trolls. Shout out to all the trolls directly out here. Shout out to all of my moderators. Shout out to the regulars. Shout out to anybody that's still a part of the Patreon. Shout out to anybody who's a part of the membership. Shout out to any and everybody that's donated to the platform over the years. Because I would not be able to do the things that I do without people like you. So anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation, and I will catch you guys in the next live stream. Peace out.